Okay. I think it works. Yep. Sure. John Robert III. What the fuck? Okay. Huh. Okay. I'll see what it is. I'll be back.
Dylan refused, so Jason pretended to lose interest in him. Dylan became obsessed and afraid that he'd leave, so every time he could, he'd talk to him, see him.
At US Bank, when we say we're in it with you, we mean it. Not just for the good stuff.
Welcome to r/Am I the Jerk, where Karen is stalking her neighbors. Am I the jerk for how I feel about my wife's creepy hobby project? Okay, this sounds insane, but I swear my wife is totally normal otherwise, which makes this so strange to me. For context, we're both in our late 30s and live in a pretty typical suburban neighborhood where we all know each other. My wife has always loved trashy movies and shows about infidelities, and she devours true crime. She says something about it makes her morbidly fascinated, in her words. A couple of months ago, we had a scandal in our neighborhood where a married couple divorced because the husband cheated. It wasn't too crazy or anything, but my wife became obsessed with learning every detail from every neighbor. No matter the occasion, Be it a baby shower or a cookout, she would bring it up, hoping there would be more new information. A month later, I stumbled upon the board in her home office. I was doing some cleaning, and I found a massive bulletin board leaning against her wall. Curiosity got the better of me, and I turned it around to find a literal conspiracy board of all of our neighbors' pictures with lines of yarn connecting them. I was totally confused, and I asked her what this was. She told me it was a hobby that she had started recently, where she would track rumors or likely candidates for cheating on the board. The yarn represented who was possibly cheating with whom. She had clearly gotten all of the images from Facebook or other social media, printed them out, and even had a few sticky notes with details. I told her this was creepy and insane, and she said maybe if I were doing it as a man, but she was just having harmless fun as a hobby. She wouldn't be crazy and try to oust anyone based on rumors. She just liked feeling like a detective. She told me to view it as a creative art piece. I was still super weirded out, but I tried to let it go. I thought about it a lot. Well, every now and then, I admit to checking the board when cleaning, but just a couple of days ago, I saw that now I was on the board with a yarn attached to a neighbor's wife I'm casually friends with. I asked her why she added me and if she thought I was cheating, and she said that was a different yarn color for potential matches for cheating. She said if it made me feel better, she was planning on adding herself to the board soon. I got upset and lost my temper. I told her to get rid of the board or our marriage would be in trouble. Things have been super rocky since. I'm starting to feel bad now, and it hit me more than usual this morning. Should I apologize to her? And before you ask, no, I don't suspect her of cheating. Honestly, I wish she was, because it would at least make more sense than this. Am I the jerk? Update. I have now approached her, and I told her that while I may have overreacted by threatening our marriage, I think it is a creepy thing to do. She apologized and said she would get rid of the board. I thought we were good. Literally 2 days later, crap hits the fan. Our happily married next-door neighbor finds a woman's clothes under her bed that don't belong to her. It doesn't take long for the whole neighborhood to find out. Well, my wife is giddy, like jumping up and down for joy. She shows me the board, which she still didn't throw away like she promised she would, and of course, the husband was marked with yarn, meaning he was likely to cheat. She told me the board was accurate after all, and maybe she should keep her hobby around. I was definitely suspicious, so I looked at the board again later. It looked different from the last time I saw it before the latest scandal. Instead of the yarn connecting to another neighbor, the cheating husband's yarn connected to a post-it with a question mark. Firstly, it was the only question mark there, and I swore it wasn't there the last time I saw the board. So either she changed it after the cheating to prove a point, or slightly before it happened, which made me even more suspicious either way. Now I felt like I was the detective and I was going crazy.
Whew, I'm back. Ooh, is that loud? Seems like
So
it.
it was just the two of us. I asked him
Hello?
if he actually did it, and he said no, he never would.
I think that's good.
Then I asked if my wife had been over recently. He said that one day, while I was at work, his wife asked my wife to water a plant they had while they were both away and told her where the key was. So yes, I immediately raised an eyebrow. I asked if he still had the clothes, and he was getting nervous and told me not to get the wrong idea. I said, don't worry. He still had the clothes, and I looked at him. It was my wife's, but something I knew that she never wore because it was from something I bought her for Christmas one time that she said was too uncomfortable. I told my neighbor I needed to talk to my wife, and I ran out, but I told him not to worry. I approached her with the clothes, and I asked her what was going on. She played dumb, but I told her to cut the BS. I asked if she had either cheated on me with him or planted it there.
Guys, this is from Mr. Redder. Mr. Redder is amazing.
To planting it there and said it was to make me
I love
admit
Mr.
her
Redder.
hobby was valid or something like that. I flipped on her. I said this was worse than her cheating on me because instead of just ruining our marriage, she ruined our neighbor's marriage and ours. I demanded she call the wife and admit to everything, even sending pictures of the board. I even showed the Reddit post, which actually helped convince her my wife had planted it rather than cheated with her husband. Well, they made up, but now I have no idea what to do. I'm barely speaking to my wife, and it's only a matter of time before the entire neighborhood figures this out. I seriously need advice. Dude, once this gets out, you and your wife are going to be ostracized from the community. Like, this is awful for your marriage, and something is seriously wrong with her. But the fallout from this is going to be massive. I paid to have my grass cut while I was out of town, and the landscaper stole my lawnmower. I used a third-party service that hires local landscapers for temporary needs. I had never had an issue until I returned and went outside to cut my own grass, only to find my lawnmower missing.
What the fuck?
I usually keep it on the back porch. I reviewed the cameras, and I was amazed to see that the hired landscaper stole my new lawnmower, which I had used only a couple of times, and tried to push it through the neighbor's yard. He apparently didn't realize the camera had a wide view. The third-party service confirmed it was theft, and now I have to deal with the police to track down the landscaper and get my mower back. In the video, you can see a man with a leaf blower walking around the yard. He then approaches my lawnmower and drags it away to his car. The lawn service said that if it's theft, it has to be filed with a police report. They refunded the service, but everything else must be handled through the police now. Update 1 hour later. The third-party service gave me direct contact with the landscaper. His excuse was that he thought the lawnmower was broken and took it off my hands because he assumed it was broken since I called them. Now he's claiming someone stole his trailer, which had the lawnmower in it. I'm talking to the sheriff and filing a report.
Later.
The sheriff says it's felony theft because the amount is over $500.
Yeah, bro.
He's giving the landscaper 24 hours to either return the lawnmower or pay the full amount. If not, a warrant will be issued. Small-town sheriffs are serious. Now I've posted it on Nextdoor, and someone privately messaged
Moose,
me
I barely
saying
talking
they know the
shit.
landscaper's
Something has to be
mother and
running.
sister and will contact
People
them.
to listen to.
They also provided his Instagram
Mr.
page.
Reddit, bro.
Update 3. Someone posted the video on Facebook from Nextdoor, and now people who know him are making
Reddit's
fun
my
of him
N-word.
since he goes by a different persona on social media.
I can't say that
where he
N-word
claims
on
to be
stream
a
now.
professional, self-made influencer, and they're tagging him in the post.
I'll become like
I didn't want to
PewDiePie.
dox the guy. I just wanted my lawnmower back. His mother reached out and asked me to take down the videos and posts because it's hurting her son's business and reputation. I let her know my next steps.
Mr. Reddit?
What a fucking
Oh, come on. Poem?
Roses are red, violets are bigger.
Okay. Tell me how that is. Oh my god. Yeah, how's it now? Because my mic on the headset doesn't work. So I had to pull out the webcam. I had to pull out the webcam, bro. How's it now? Yeah. So it'd be like 30.
For sleep focus and
I'll just max out my webcam.
I called him back, and my phone goes straight to voicemail. But I used my Google Voice number, and his number rings. He blocked me from contact when all I'm trying to do is retrieve my mower. I also contacted his mother, who seems to have had a change of heart.
How's that?
I tried calling him, but he didn't answer. She said, "Do what you've got to do."
How's that,
Is he
Moosey?
trying to flee over a lawnmower? I'll try again in a few hours. This is starting to really frustrate me. A few hours later, I finally managed to contact him through his sister. He claims he doesn't have $579 to pay for a new lawnmower and asked if I could tell the sheriff to give him 2 weeks to come up with the funds. I told him that's not my issue. If you're a business owner, you should have some type of credit card or account. He's so desperate that he even offered to cut my grass for free to make up for it.
That's what the
This
pros do.
undeniably admits his guilt to theft.
Like
I
this
rarely
is
go
what I
into
do
that yard unless
IRL.
cutting my grass or barbecuing, and
I
my
pull out
lawnmower
the-
was missing for almost a week.
Fuck, I gotta
told
buy
him
one
he
of those
better
fucking
borrow or
cutters.
ask his family, because I'm not budging on pressing charges and following through with the sheriff. He has exactly 9 hours and counting. 5 hours later,
Okay, it's
the
good.
sheriff sent a deputy to my house to survey the area, take my statement, and get documents from both Lawn Starter and the
Mr.
company
Reddit's
that
the
contracted
best,
the
bro.
landscaper. The deputy said they found a record of him in another county for theft. They're moving forward with a warrant. I can't feel sorry for this guy. He made this bed, now he has to lie in it. I just received a text from the guy from another number. This dude is really
And
doubling
Mr.
down
Reddit's
on
the
his
best,
beat.
and
I'm just going to forward this to the sheriff. This is what the text said. Hey man, this is Deshaun.
Why?
You posted a video of me moving your lawnmower. I didn't
You
take
know what
the
we can do,
lawnmower
bro?
with bad intentions. I
We
thought it
can
didn't work.
a
and was going to
Discord
do you a favor.
live stream
I have
call.
plenty of customers who ask me to haul
We just
their
can't say
lawnmower all the
anything
time. I
racist.
tried starting the lawnmower and it
Challenge.
didn't even fire up. I'm not going to pay you for something you left abandoned in your yard. That's on you, not me. As for the sheriff contacting me, I have a great attorney who will make sure this issue is resolved. You act like this is a downfall.
We can do
but
that,
through all this,
or
I shall come up. I'll keep making money and doing great.
you can
because
watch
God
my
got
my
me and
process.
family. You stay blessed. 2 hours later.
I don't know if you ever only person that really watched me draw was Chris. He just stares at me, bro.
It's so bad.
He's like beating it from behind me.
He needs genuine help. Here's what he said this time. You think this is some type of joke, bruh?
Just in case, I'm gonna turn off the display catcher. Let's see if it works. Hello?
Hello, John. Yeah, I kind of want to hear what my mic sounds like.
How's this gonna work? I'm gonna keep the mic audio and desktop. And I should be
You
good.
just be able to. You just work.
I'm gonna turn you.
I'm
I'm gonna
watching
turn
the
up
stream.
desktop to its fullest.
Yeah, you can hear me on the stream. Kind of a little bit behind
Yeah,
the stream a bit.
it's live stream's gonna be behind. I mean, I think that's good. Now the people can hear us talk.
Yep.
Two fucking geniuses of the 21st century.
Mm-hmm.
Founders.
Now I actually have to watch what I say.
That's the hard part. I had to enlist a few videos.
Yeah, bro, I'm just leveling Conjuration 100 is free levels. I'm not gonna. Well, I am gonna use Conjuration, but only for the the bound weapons.
Fuck. Yeah, I had to get rid of the Minecraft video. That shit's hella I didn't get rid of it, it's just unlisted. That shit's hella incriminating.
Yeah.
John Robert bullies kid. It's been like 4 years. It's gonna be 4 years old, bro.
Yeah.
That masterpiece.
Yeah, this Skyrim character I'm trying to do like a mage, magic only. Try my best to.
Bro's doing a magic build.
I never do magic builds in any games, let alone Skyrim, so I don't know if I'm doing well or not.
Yeah, I can't do purely magic. Fuck, I just get the respiration spell and one-hand sword.
Yeah, it's fucking hard to do one-handed magic. Like there's a few times I have an elven axe just in my inventory just in case, but that's about it.
That's
But
all
then once I
do.
get this bound like sword or whatever, then it's just a magic melee weapon. Like, so it should be fine. That's really the only reason I'm leveling Conjuring, besides free levels, is to be able to like use the bound weapons properly.
Shit, I never play Skyrim properly. I don't know the last time I was gonna do two-handed character, but kind of stopped playing.
Yeah. Normally Skyrim's pretty boring, but that's because I always play the same shit. So playing this, like, playing mage is kind of different, so it's actually pretty fun.
Oh yeah, fuck.
And I'm playing without mods, so I'm kind of trying to get the achievements that I should have gotten when I was playing mods, but...
Well, the funny thing is, if you want to get all the achievements, you can just get it all from console commands.
Yeah, I know. I thought about doing that, but I want to see
I'm gonna do it legit, bro.
most of them.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, some are just stupid.
Yeah, I haven't really actually looked at the achievements. Just what's on, like, what the achievements it shows on the
Bro,
main
I still
menu.
haven't built a house in fucking Skyrim.
It isn't really worth it, bro. I did it because I don't know. I don't know what I was doing, but I built a whole ass fucking house.
I probably should. I mean,
Yeah.
To get the experience, you know.
I mean, it is cool, I guess. I don't even know what character that was on.
Now we can go on a gambling spree.
I was doing pretty good last night, bro.
Shit. Yeah, about all the Five
I
Nights at
did.
Freddy's games, bro, and they're fucking, for some reason, they're hard, man.
Yeah.
Or I'm just bad.
I haven't played Five Nights at Freddy's forever, bro. I played that shit on mobile when I was a kid. That's about it.
Yeah, I remember getting like FNAF 2 in like 2014. On the Kindle. FNAF 2 is so hard, man. Should I do a quick FNAF 2 gameplay to show how hard it is?
Yep.
Okay.
I normally don't sit here this long when I'm trying to just level Conjuration. I normally go up to like 50 or something, but
Could you just hold trap?
might as well go all the way. Yeah. It's fucking skeleton.
There's one you just can do like that general it's a general in like Whiterun.
It's the priest of Arcay. Came down here to get his amulet, and I'm using these skeletons.
Bro, what did you send me on Steam? I didn't look because I was kind of scared.
It's a screenshot of me leveling my Conjuration.
I think I got the most nostalgia for Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
That's definitely my favorite one.
That is loud. Oh man. Night 4. Night 4, bro. That was enough. Okay, it works.
You just buy all the Five Nights at Freddy's games yesterday or something?
I did buy Sister Location because I don't like it.
Oh, hello. Hey there, Night 4.
Like Sister
I told you you'd get the hang of it.
This
Okay,
is so loud.
just to update you, there's been somewhat of an investigation
fucking
going
hear you,
on.
bro.
We may have...
Is there someone already here? God damn it. Hey, Foxy. Hey, Foxy.
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
Yeah.
If you press Windows G, you can turn it down.
I don't know if I have time to do that, bro.
Well, just when you do have time, you press Windows G, and
Oh, it's
it'll
just
show you like all the audio.
it's just Bonnie. Like the whole entire time, you just have to wind the music box and look around. Is it gonna be Mango? Foxy? Oh, hey, they're getting kind of close, man. No, I think Foxy ran away. Bro, this fucking... Oh, Balloon Boy. No! Fuck! I didn't mean to do that. God damn it.
Hey, Conjuration 87.
Well, I'm fucking dead. Fuck you, Balloon Boy. You're a fag.
Whoa, bro, I don't think you can say it on stream.
Fag as in fabulous. All just...
Call him a bundle of sticks, bro. That's all you gotta say.
Okay, I tried. I tried. I tried. I tried. Fuck. FNAF 3, bro. FNAF 3 is weird, but it's my favorite one.
3?
FNAF 3. Holy shit, that was fucking loud.
But yeah, bro, if you hit Windows G, it should show you like a tab with all the
Cool.
like volume options.
No, Mom. Yeah, I'll take some those Keblers. I'll take some Keblers. Keblers! You don't know what a fucking Kebler is? Kebler fudge.
What is a Kebler?
La 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 la. Yeah, Will, I got you. It's a cookie. It's the elf or the fudge striped.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Keeblers. Made me scream. I lost my voice midway through.
Christ, bro, I'm barely fucking moving along on this leveling.
The grind.
Just these last 10 fucking. I'm on like. What was I on? I'm on like 88 or 89 now.
You didn't drink the potion?
A potion? What fucking potion?
I don't know. I was just saying the potion.
You've been
Yeah.
using the mage stone, bro.
Oh, I'm so disappointed. James is still breathing. Your old man's Trans Am and Coco.
This mage build is probably gonna be so fucked, bro. Because I know nothing about magic in this game.
Magica.
Probably be the Skyrim equivalent of your first Elden Ring build, bro. The way that was described to me.
My Elden Ring build. There's a screenshot. I have like 40 arcane, 10 vigor.
Or are you leveling arcane, bro? What the fuck does that do?
It's for bleed damage and frost and poison.
Oh.
No one told me what to do, bro. I was just by myself. I watched no video or anything.
Yeah. Then I had your guidance, your wisdom.
My helping hand. My guiding force. Oh, if I could do all these pages today, it would be 21 pages, so I could finish everything.
Holy fucking shit, man. Once I level up, I'm gonna keep count of how many fucking times I have to hit this thing to level up once. It's fucking insane. Do I have...
You know what? It's just one big frame. That's pretty good.
What are these mystic tuning gloves? I've never seen...
It works. Oh well.
I don't know what the fuck those gloves are. It's probably from the College of Winterhold quest line. Doing that for the first time, too.
The what?
College of Winterhold.
Oh, you never did that before?
I started it, but, like, I never got to the point to where you find that big-ass ball in the dungeon. I know that's, like, right away. But I started it, I picked up that amulet, and then I fucking left.
It's like the Eye of Madness, or Magnus. I think it's called Eye of Magnus.
Yeah. That's what it's called. But yeah, I'm doing that for the first time. And then I'll probably do the Bard's College, too, just because I've never done that.
I never. Is that the one in Solitude?
Yeah.
I never did that. Like I did a bit of it, then just stopped.
I remember I started it, but my dad was cooking like some pork potatoes or something, and then I got off to eat them, and I never did it. I did the thing, and I wrote the poem or whatever.
You like find some shit in a cave. If I remember.
Yeah. I just don't think I don't think I could figure out how to progress from that point, but I didn't really care either.
You'll figure it out.
Okay, 92. So I'm gonna keep counting these, bro.
Crumble cookie is so bad. I'd say the Subway cookies taste better. What were you doing yesterday, bro?
I never really fucking eat cookies, bro.
What were you
Oh, bro,
doing?
why are those characters doing a Nazi salute, bro?
Oh, they're just pointing up. I might have to change that, bro. Here, we'll add a thumb. It's not.
You just gotta give them fingers, and don't have them pointed like straight out.
Oh no, don't worry. There's gonna be a little curve right there, a little bend. We just had a mustache then. Oh, I found the girl on Fiverr. She's a webtoon expert. It said.
Sounds so fucking dumb.
She said South African too. $10.
25. I have to shoot this thing 25 times to level up once. Yeah, it's not bad, but when I was at 50, I only had him like fucking 9 times. I could shoot it 7 times with how big my mana bar is. Are these live streams gonna become a big hit, bro?
Fuck, I don't know. I mean, might as well do something Sundays.
Yeah.
It could be.
I mean, live streams are definitely cool. I'll watch them.
Oh yeah.
It is cool to see you draw sometimes.
Yeah. My shitty processes. Like I can draw a face. That's pretty much it.
Should I do my Sunday drawing live stream, bro? You think that'll turn out well?
I mean, depends how long you want to go for.
Just one drawing every Sunday. I'll live stream it.
Yeah, that works.
My usual drawings, you know. My mutants,
Chris
my
was trying to hate
freaks.
on you, bro, about your drawings. Because I showed him fucking that demo horse video, bro.
He didn't like the demo horse.
Bro, I forgot what was in it. It's just Demo Man just stroking his shaft.
Yeah,
I completely forgot.
you drew that one.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even give him facial hair or anything that time. Can't believe you
I
got
wish
rid
I
of
had
the
demo horse,
sign,
bro.
though.
It might be on my laptop or something.
You got rid of your sign, bro.
Oh, the bottle scrumpy drawing wasn't that fucking. I could always remake that.
But
Fuck, I was desperate, bro.
It was the first one. That's the thing.
I was desperate.
Well, that's how it goes. Usually, like, even if it's the first of anything, even if it's bad or worse, it's still the best one.
Yeah. Bro, I should probably collect all these fucking unusual gems too. I haven't done that.
Have fun.
Doesn't it just give you? Don't you just get a bunch of money for doing it?
I don't know how much, but...
I know they're like a part of a crown or something. That was
Oh,
stolen.
man. This guy looks like Hitler already, bro.
The guy whose face you're drawing first.
Yep. Well, he's gonna be the closest one to us.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to see. The stream is a little behind.
Oh, I mean, I stopped drawing right now, but
Oh.
so I wasn't really doing a lot. And I'm using like my OG drawing tablet, bro.
Is it worse or something? Or are
I
you just
mean-
not used to it?
I'm not used to not being able to look at my screen while drawing. I mean,
Oh.
it's just different.
Like, was your old one like an actual tablet that displayed the image?
Yeah, it was an actual tab.
How did it break, bro?
So it was like a pressure issue. Every time I pushed in, it did like skips, then just froze.
Oh. Was it expensive?
Yeah, it was like $100, 120, 140. And even if it was expensive, I made it my money's worth, so I can get a new one.
And when did you start using the other one, bro? Like not the one you're using now, but the other one.
2021. I barely use this guy, the one I'm using right now.
So did you draw like all the village on that?
No, I drew all the village on my screen tablet. That's when I had it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
This old one.
Okay.
I only did very few old drawings, and then I switched. And fuck, I probably put maybe almost 2,000 hours on that old one.
Yeah.
Money's worth.
Did you ever use those calligraphy pens, bro?
Yeah, I use them. That's how I do my drawings, traditional drawings. I dip it in ink in that. I'll just give this. Sometimes it's tricky too, because it's just hard to see where my hand's gonna go. Because I can't see my hand.
This guy you're drawing looks kind of funny, bro. He looks like he has a hunch. He'd have a hunchback or something if he wasn't looking straight up.
Here we go. Yeah, I suck at anatomy. I have to work on that shit.
There's people like to work on anatomy. They just draw like all the muscle groups and shit, you know.
Yeah, but that's like in depth. All I have to
Yeah.
know is like how elbows, how perspective works on different parts of the body, collarbone, how it affects the shoulder and neck.
Yeah, that's the thing I suck at, bro. Is perspective. That's why my characters always look kind of like fucked up.
Fuck, I barely do.
I mean, I just can't draw in general, but
I mean, perspective in anatomy is pretty hard. I have a few perspective drawings, like the harp right here. that's perspective. Have you seen this masterpiece? He just.
Let's see this harp that you're talking about. Oh.
Oh. I'd say I did a pretty good job on that. Besides the legs, we could tell that the right hand's closest to us compared to the left.
Yep. And hands too, bro. I can't draw hands for the life of me.
It's all practice, bro. I really like this one for some reason. That's why I made it my channel thumbnail for the live stream.
That's probably why I'm so good at drawing Randy, bro. That's like the only thing I draw if I'm gonna draw something.
His face.
You know, just different versions of Randy.
Bro.
I'll add a body sometimes too. I'll just make it like really round. And
Bro. Chris was trying to lecture me on some shit. Like he doesn't even know what like the points of perspective are. Like we're arguing about this drawing. He's like saying this has to go up. I said, yeah, it does.
He was lecturing you about your drawings, bro.
Yeah, he's like, this has to go up. I'm like, yeah, if the point of perspective was like up here, this point of perspective was down here, and it would do this.
This building.
This.
That's on the screen. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. He's saying it should have went this way.
Conjuration 99, almost there.
Because there's points of perspective.
Should I prestige it?
Fuck. I wouldn't. There's no point. You're trying to level up.
I mean, I prestige smithing, bro.
Yeah, that was just stupid.
It was easy. I had the shit to make all the rings. I had like twice the amount of material I needed to redo smithing 100.
I'm just zooming in. I'm done. It's still fucking hard, man.
Man, let me get out of this stupid fucking dungeon so I could. Yeah, I'm not prestiging Conjuration, bro. I probably would have given up if you didn't tell me you were live streaming and I didn't call you.
Yeah. Never give up.
There we go.
Why did you get Conjuring 100?
Finally, man.
Are you just trying to get the one Daedric set?
No. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I just want to level up Conjuring for 3 levels.
Yeah, so there's like a place in College of Winterhold. You can do like a ritual. You need a Daedra heart and shit. In silver, and you can make free Daedric gear pretty much.
Yeah. I don't know. I might do that. There we go. Okay. Prestige Conjuration. No.
Here, redo it.
No, I'm not gonna do it, bro. At least not yet. If I ever do it, it'll be later.
I mean, it is the fastest one to redo.
Yeah. I don't even know how to use Conjuration, bro. Besides like the weapons, I don't know how to summon shit.
Really?
I mean, I imagine I just get the spell tome and summons it, but I don't know if it's any good or not.
The Daedra one's really good, but forgot how to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can summon like Daedras to fight for you, and it's really good.
And do you know what? Like in the destruction skill tree, the rune master skill, I can place runes 5 times farther away. What the fuck is a rune?
It's like a landmine almost. It's
Oh,
like
those. Okay. I know what you're talking about now. Well, I don't want that, or I don't need it.
Yeah, runes.
I don't even know why I don't even know why I even bothered with this. I don't really have anything to level up. I guess apprentice restoration spells.
Yeah, I just say hold on to them.
Should I level alchemy to make some like mana potions?
You can try to do like one of those fucking videos.
Like one of those like super powerful fucking.
He like upgrades a fork.
Yep. Just do a 400 times mana potion or something.
He like starts like a restoration potion and some shit, and then it turns into like an enchantment potion.
Don't mages need like a soul or fucking what's it called? Like soul crystals? Don't they use soul crystals somehow?
Uh, yeah, soul snatch. I mean, fuck, I forgot.
Like I know I can use soul trap and stuff, but don't they like do something with the soul crystals that?
Yeah, they refill your enchantment bar, like your power bar for enchanted weapons. It charges your enchanted weapons.
Well, I know that, but like besides that, isn't there like something that only mages use for it? I don't know, man. I never play mage, whatever.
The only thing I know soul gems do is you steal souls, and they're just used for enchantment. I don't know if mages, besides conjuring for soul trap. That's all I know, really.
I can't really, yeah, like a mage has this option for soul trap, but why would you need soul trap if you're a mage? You know, that's unless you're using these staves. Like I have this staff of mage light, but who the fuck uses staffs, bro?
This is an easy Google search.
I better save. I don't want to do all that again.
Yeah, enchant and charge magical items, undead animate, or artificial constructs. They can cast powerful destructive spells for purpose. How long do you think it takes for a 100% Skyrim speedrun?
Well, that's done. I don't know what I should
There's a
level
kill
next.
my racks. It takes him 5 minutes to kill Mirok.
Okay, guys, take
That's
it
like the
away.
only time I've ever struggled in Skyrim was fucking Mirak.
Mirak's hard, bro. I mean, usually my OP, my ass, this guy skips everything.
I fought Mirak on that Argonian character I showed you that was like level 60, and that was like I was two-handing axes, or dual-wielding axes, and I had a really fucking powerful bow, but still I was getting fucked. I had to go fight a giant or something. Oh wait, no, I need to go get that fucking sword.
What
I
is
should've got the sword
happening
first.
in this video? He's like save warping.
Yeah, that's how a lot of these speedruns work, bro. They do like fucking weird shit, glitching through stuff. Challenger. Alright, watch this guy like fuck me up.
Look, I skipped 10 seconds and I just see him flying.
Holy fuck, man! He two-shot me.
So this guy Rando Riften, where's he going now?
Holy fuck!
Oh. Okay, you have to win home. He's going to Riften. drifting.
Hey, like,
Why is this guy so powerful, man?
Of fate.
You just said I'm cheating.
I
It's like I'm dual casting fucking flames.
He
Prince of
two
fate.
shots mirror on.
Yeah, let me see this. I actually want to see this.
Prince of fate. And
Wow, bro. You just fucking do that. I was like suffering through that fight, bro. I had like end game shit.
perhaps you will prove clever enough.
Mora's still talking. Holy fuck.
Potions.
When's Elder Scrolls 6 coming out, man? This seems
I don't know, bro. I mean, they're making that Indiana Jones game, aren't they?
Skyrim, but if the
That
courier
game
catches
already
me, the
has
stream ends.
Permadeath is already enable.
Yeah, I seen that.
Enableable.
Is there a resist
You can already
lightning
enable
potion?
permadeath as
Oh
part of-
yeah, it's just like shock resistant. It still has.
I just happen to not have one, I guess. That's right.
Fuck. I want to play Oblivion, man. I want to play all those older ones.
I mean, they're cheap. I definitely thought about getting them, but because they were on sale too, they were like 99 cents. I really don't know why I didn't.
Guess I can't draw females. That's what Chris said, bro. So I'm gonna give him big boobies, so we know it's a female. Yeah, I'll search that up too. I wanna see how much Oblivion is and whatever.
Like, would you just want Oblivion, or would you want Oblivion and
Morrowind.
the other one, Morrowind?
The other ones are just too old, I'd say.
So
Give me-
Oblivion right now is $15 for the standard, and what is this? Or you get Oblivion with DLC for 20. I just wait for these to go on sale, because when they go on sale, they're really fucking cheap. And then Morrowind is $15 as well.
Yeah, Morrowind 15. I know that's like Dark Elves.
Yeah.
I gotta play them though. Skyrim's one of the Elder Scrolls I really like. It's a shame that Bethesda just makes shitters now.
Yeah. Skyrim was like the only Bethesda game I enjoy playing.
Fallout
Like
New
even
Vegas,
Fallout
bro.
4 or something. I never liked Fallout New Vegas. I mean, well, like Fallout New Vegas isn't bad. Just I don't know if it was the way my computer was running the game or something, but it just felt wrong. Like my movements felt kind of delayed and stuff.
It's an old game, bro.
Yeah. At least Skyrim, Skyrim feels just as good.
I feel like Skyrim was built for like actual PC play. Fucking Fallout New Vegas
it
was like
was.
meant to play on like a potato.
Yeah, I mean even on Xbox, it was on Game Pass on Xbox, and I don't know. I just don't think I like Fallout as much as Skyrim. I prefer
No, I love Skyrim.
the like medieval kind of fantasy type world.
The only fantasy
instead
world
of-
I enjoy was Skyrim. I don't know about Elden Rings though. It's hard to say I enjoyed Elden Rings. I don't like open world medieval games. Like, I love Skyrim's, but I love Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1 environment's amazing. Same as Dark Souls 3. I didn't like Elden Ring just as much. I'm like a veteran Souls player, even though my first Souls game was Elden Ring. I beat all those games in a year, bro.
Yeah.
I don't regret it. I love them.
I don't know. Just Skyrim has like a type of charm to it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, fuck. The music. No other game has ever replicated it. Replicated.
Replicated.
Replicated. Replicated. I need like a fucking dictionary besides me.
Yep. Just don't ask me how to spell a word. I can't.
Bro,
If
I
it's
can't
above 5
spell.
letters, I can spell. I just have to write it down. Like if you ask me how to spell
Yeah.
like any word, I can't really think of it on top of my head unless I write it down.
I was about to drop the N word, bro.
See that here.
Hey, can you spell fucking... It was that close. Yeah, so with the first live stream I put down, it was like kids mode, so no one can comment. I don't even know why it was on kids mode. I guess I just forgot it on the OBS shit.
Shit, bro. This fucking fire mage is holy fuck. Fire mage needs to calm the fuck down. I mean, is there any like way to cheese leveling destruction, or do you just literally have to just use it?
I thought you found a way to.
Yeah.
I know there's a way, but you need like the anniversary edition, I think.
Yeah. Fuck is shot. Oh.
And the
Where'd you come
anniversary
from?
edition is just as much as fucking Skyrim. Have you seen how much the anniversary edition is?
No, but I imagine it's
It's $20.
pretty expensive. Yeah. For what, an extra house,
A few extra dungeons.
more like items.
Like no one cares about the dungeons. I mean, they're cool and shit, but they're all the same.
Yeah.
I like the Dwemer or the Dwarven underground shit. Like Black Reach is really cool.
Yeah. Just I don't know, bro. Just for me, when you're down there for so long, you just start to like feel like wrong, you know.
You get delirious.
Or just being down like in the Thalmor just feels uncomfortable. Or not Thalmor, fucking
the
what are they
Dwarven,
called?
the Dwemer.
Yeah, just like in Dwemer ruins with the what the fuck are they called? The snow elves, bro. What are they called?
Yeah, it was the Falmer. It's Falmer.
No, Thalmor. All right, I said Thalmor. Thalmor.
I think Thalmor's in the game too.
Well, the Thalmor is
The
the
High
you know
Elves,
like the
right?
high elves, yeah.
We know the Skyrim lore.
Yeah, I seen every single one of that one guy's videos.
So the Snow Elves. That's all I know. So it all began with Skyward Sword, right? I can fucking... I know the entire Zelda lore, but... That's actually pretty simple to follow. Because they have like the
I wonder
literal
how many
lore
people
book.
actually know this book is here. It's not like it's special or anything. You buy it, but
By what?
I'm dirt poor.
you trying to buy a book in Skyrim? Once you stay full.
Okay. Found bow. This isn't what I thought it was, but I'll take it. So I won't have to carry around this fucking shit anymore.
See ya.
That's all I needed. Now I need to get a bound sword and then I'll be good. I could just
Chat
buy that.
works. That's all I put down. Chat works, y'all.
Oh, there's 3 viewers, bro.
One's me. One's you. There's an artificial viewer here, or I mean a natural.
Yep.
Or if OBS is counting mine too, who knows?
I mean, it's only said 2 viewers for pretty much the whole time.
Yeah. Who knows? Someone wants to see the drawing live stream.
Okay. That's enough Skyrim. Oh, we lost him, bro. We weren't entertaining enough to keep him watching.
This shit ain't entertaining, bro. There's no one, like, there's... I feel like this can only work if there's chat.
Yeah, if there's people like actually interacting with you, then that's the only thing I could see. I mean, this is cool. It's like a good behind the scenes if someone
Oh,
actually
yeah.
cares about.
If I get hyper fans
Yep.
of the deep, intricate lore of the silent marksman, the sad stories we tell along the way, the heroic deeds
Yeah.
the marksman does. I was about to name drop him, bro. I would have been so mad. This stream would have been gone so fast.
Yeah. Like when a streamer gets caught cheating in a video game, they just end it right away.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I
Yeah,
mean,
on here it wouldn't be that big of a deal. No one's watching. You could just delete it.
yeah, I can edit it and get rid of it.
Yeah. So are you actually gonna stream every Sunday?
I mean, I
Or
don't
try
mind.
to.
I mean, it's just one day. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be for too long. This one will. I could be long. Shit. I guess I'll buy a few Manco keys and crap. Real quick. I gotta buy one of those. What just do for?
Yeah. I think I lost all my keys well, the keys that were in this inventory.
God damn. Yeah, everyone left, so it's just me again, so. What the fuck? Yeah, now my parents want me to save 1,500 a month now.
Is that like most of your money, bro?
Yeah, if I only get 2-week pay stubs, that's like half of that shit just gone.
I mean, you are saving your money. You're just investing it into a different form.
And they're like, oh, paying rent. I'm like, am I paying rent right now? It's all different. I'm not paying for shit.
Yeah, bro. Those earbuds were fucking carrying my backpack. Well, pretty much.
Let me turn on my display caps. capture when I buy this shit.
It was $91, then I dropped down to 45, and then yesterday I got it to 67.
Should I buy a bunch of earbuds? I bet it would be faster than getting keys.
But yeah, you could and just sell them or just use the earbuds, but
Let's see how much are earbuds?
I have my own pair of earbuds now.
So earbuds are 17 bucks. Holy shit.
I might just coin flip this Bill's hat.
I know earbuds count as peer. How much would that be if I 10's 200 bucks. That's like getting 100 keys. How much are earbuds? Like 18?
They are
Well, they're like 30.
8.73 keys.
They're like 30 something on TF2 Easy, right?
I think they're like 20.
Let me search it up. It's probably an earbud. It's probably something.
Here, I could check here. I'll have to fucking enter my trade link. I forgot. Uh, 18.53 coins.
That's not. I think we're better off buying keys, bro.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's what I would do.
I thought. Well, how much is 200 keys? They'd be gone in a day. Just knowing me.
Okay, I'm gonna coin flip this Bill's hat. I don't want it.
I was about to get 1,000 keys. Okay. 100 keys, bro. $204. Fuck overtime, bro. I barely got paid anything extra.
When are you gonna be alone for 5 days, bro? Or
Next week.
whatever. You be able to handle it, bro?
I'm always alone. Being with others, but alone. Oh, so you're gonna send me 100 keys? It's not under review or anything? They're Jews, bro.
Well, I don't think that's very PC of you, John, what you just said.
Fucking.
Oh, there goes my Bill's hat. Gone.
Oh, really? The Steam servers went down? Like, no. $100 keys, bro.
You just bought 100 keys?
Yeah. Let's say like, holy shit! Oh my god, bro! Check the stream. Oh my god. Is that how many keys is that?
God damn, bro. Sent you that instantly.
Was that all of them?
They took all day
That was all of them.
They took all day to send me fucking 2 keys, bro.
Oh
They just
my.
sent you that instantly.
We have to do a coin flip, right?
Don't go all in, bro.
Oh, I will.
It never works out for you.
Oh, well. 100 keys. What did you bet on?
Black.
Okay, we'll do red. We'll do 5. We'll do a little warm up. This doesn't mean you can join me, bro.
Alright.
I bought a shit ton of art supplies too, but I did buy a card. I bought a card that was $200. I like buying cards. Why does he have so many non-craftable? Okay, we'll call a bot. Oh,
Man, I
bro.
was gonna join you.
I knew it. But bro, I'm gonna get your Bill's hat back or whatever. If that's your green guy.
It is. That is my Bill's hat.
Come on. Let me win a coin flip for once. Come on. Please. 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 Haka mana ta 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 6-5. Coin flips are so weird.
Yeah.
Okay, should I give you some keys before I do max or ref?
Give me my fucking keys, man. What the fuck? You know what? Fuck it. I'll just bet this. I did the trade offer. It should fucking work.
I always do max or ref, bro. Holy crap, bro. Look at this guy on blackjack. Okay. So I got 95 keys. I don't know what to do now.
Don't worry, bro. I'll redeem you with this coin flip right here.
Was that fucking Bill's hat? Bad luck, bro.
I mean, it won me most of my money last night. I just kept coin flipping the Bill's hat, and I somehow didn't lose it.
You know, coin flipping isn't my thing, bro. That's the problem.
Oh, but it's fucking my thing, baby. Well, hopefully my gambling luck is back, bro. The losing streak I was on was devastating. That's like living without a purpose, bro, when I can't gamble properly.
Oh, fuck, man. I love doing cases because I just go to max or ref.
Just don't do max or ref, bro. Do the one I was doing.
Oh, no, I won all my money in max or ref, then I went to blackjack and got fucked.
Oh.
But how much keys should I deposit, bro?
In the TF2 easy?
Yeah, 10? How much would 10 be? 50?
I would do like 5. Whenever I'm depositing keys, I do like 6, and I try to always have 6 keys in my inventory. I know you're not gonna do coin flips, but like the way I do coin flips. Once the keys hit that second row is when I take out everything except for 6 keys. I just keep doing that.
I just don't know. Fucking your coin flips are. I don't know, man. There's like.
Just don't have my luck.
There's no logic, bro. Like, oh. I try to have logic behind it, but it never works out.
I don't know, bro. It seems like pretty logical right here. It's gonna be black.
Let's see you hit black. You know what? I'm gonna have to change my Steam profile. I think that's why I'm losing. I think it's time, bro. The gambling marksman's coming.
Alright, let's see.
Like, the categories...
Like, there probably is zero logic to this shit, but just so I don't know. I always manage, not always, but usually I'm right. And the way I think about it usually works, so I'm just gonna keep doing it.
See if you win. You've been just betting on black. Jeez.
What I tell you, bro.
I don't understand it. Okay, I got 13. I usually
I
do
literally just try to keep count of what the last like 5 coin flips have been, and that's about it. That time I didn't, but
some up. Go, go.
what do you? I should watch this stream. I want to see what's happening.
You know what?
Upgrader.
I'm feeling pretty lucky on blackjack. 14 against a 4. That's a double.
Was it pretty easy to set up your stream?
Oh yeah. The only bad thing was a mic. My USB up front of my PC stopped working, so I had to throw my drawing tablet connection behind my computer, and there were so many fucking spiders back there. An 8 against a 10. Okay.
It's like surreal to see someone win a blackjack hand, bro. Whenever I play it, like I'm like you with coin flips when I play blackjack, man. Can't win. I'll win like 3 out of 4 blackjack hands, like you did those coin flips, or 1 out of 4.
Okay.
Oh, you literally preface in your description that you might be gambling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, red, and then it's gonna be
Oh, I got 21. Let's go.
black.
Whew.
Black again.
17.
See.
And let's see if I'm gonna get fucked here. Holy shit, bro. I made it up to 20 coins.
Nice.
I won like try to win.
The thing I don't like about like depositing into the site to get coins is like you have to spend a certain amount of money to be able to withdraw it.
Oh yeah. Some I can do a fuck, bro. Battle cases are spooky. That's why we're gonna do.
You want to do a champion, bro?
I don't understand champion.
You just put in items, and the more value you put in, the more health you have. And then I think it just randomly decides if whatever you're shooting is gonna hit or not, and how much damage it does. That's what I've observed.
Bro, I seen some dude lose. He had like 300 coins, and this guy put a key in and fucked him.
Yeah. One again.
I don't understand, bro.
That's gonna be red right here.
$17. Know it. Bro. Oh man. Stand. Nice. There's some logic behind blackjack. Especially like online. I'd say that was bullshit.
You know I have an arch nemesis on this site, bro.
Oh yeah? Ooh.
I know you've seen him. I don't know his name, but you know that you know that guy with the profile picture that's just like 2 rings sitting on a wooden table.
Oh, that guy? Yeah.
Yeah, that. we have like an unspoken rivalry, bro. I kept robbing him though, so that's all I care about. I stole like 10 keys from him before he stopped coin flipping for the night.
Pissed him off.
I guess, cause he keeps trying to call bots, but what the bots would do is they wouldn't be able to join, Like, you know how that happens sometimes? So I would
That
just
was
sit there
so
and
gay.
I would sit there and poach the coin flip. Just take his shit. Alright, it's gonna be red right here. What'd you just lose, bro? You're just going up. You're increasing your fucking bets, bro. That's not how this works.
No! I kept on losing, so I just kept on doubling the amount, and I lost like 6 times in a row. That's not how it works,
Jesus,
bro.
is this a big loss right here? All your money, 5.43 coins.
Bro. You know
I
what?
don't know.
Upgrader's gonna save us. I'm getting all these fucking tickets, bro. Holy shit, there's so many. I did this once before, Joa.
Do it again.
I might try to get all these tickets. Put like 10 keys in.
Go all in.
Okay, was it? Want to say you win 60? 63? 60 tour ticket? It's always low, bro. We just pray.
%12.83% chance.
I'm winning these. Ten keys, bro. So... If I lose all this today, I'm gonna have a problem sleeping.
I mean, just don't. You, I can hold on a few keys for you if you want. I won't spend them or nothing. Ah, damn! I just went on an epic losing spree. Holy shit. Okay. Well. That's fine. Just take a little break.
Come on, I want to get the tickets. You can watch my gambling endeavors. Here we go. 10 keys. We're gonna win all these tickets, bro. Take my fucking keys. Okay. I feel like it's just... I haven't checked if anyone's watching this shit. Just me and you. The gambling marksman, bro. Someone got the golden pan or something? Where's the golden pan? Hello? Are you... Hello?
I mean, yeah, someone probably won it.
Bro. For some reason, I can't get shit out. Is my internet bad right now? Can I...
He says I can.
So is it... Yeah, it's saying error while creating your trade offer.
Maybe it might just be because that specific bot, because you know, the site uses different bots for different game modes or whatever. I'm using Fnatic.
The gambling
Fnatic
marksman.
99.
It's because my name. I gotta log out and log in. That's the problem. Because I'm not Pierce the Manga anymore.
Yeah, your name didn't update.
Here we go. New year, new me.
You should look at
Best-
this coin flip, bro. Would you want this hat or this cosmetic item about
The
to win?
binoculars. Guys,
Yep.
if you're watching the stream, go hit the follow button. It's still not taking my shit.
Gotta rep the stream somehow, bro.
I get it. Stop telling me there's an error. Error. Shut the fuck up. Did you win, bro?
Fuck, man. Okay. No more gambling for a while.
If you guys aren't watching the stream, hit the follow. Bro! You know what? We'll try it later. Hey, I got 3 likes on the stream, bro. That's how powerful I am.
You got 3 likes.
One of them's me.
One of them is me, so it's someone else.
McLaughlin. No.
Christ, bro, so many people are live right now.
Oh yeah. If you're not watching the stream, go hit the follow. I'll do this left for left. No, not ink. If you're not watching the stream, hit the follow.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Hey, maybe I'll start streaming. I'm not sure. It's better than I could just play video games.
You just gotta be consistent and shit.
Yeah. Just like when I'm recording, first off, I lose like inspiration or whatever you want to call it, like almost right away. Like I really want to record, and then I just don't when I actually start. I can't come up with ideas, like actually entertaining video ideas. So
People
if
like
I
watching
just
challenge
stream
videos.
and play video games, then it doesn't really matter. And then then the only thing I have to worry about is like talking consistently and not just being completely quiet.
Well, it's easy.
But-
It's so much easier to talk when someone's actually there communicating.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it by yourself. Fucking bounce up and down like you have a dildo in your ass. It's fucking hard though.
Yep. Let's see.
There it is.
Did you start live streaming from OBS or from YouTube?
No, I just did OBS. How long? I think I've been streaming for a good amount of time. Hour 45. I could do like a 10-hour live stream.
104 minutes ago.
Take the nap. Okay. Let's see if I can finally do something. The gambling marksman. His reign of terror begins.
Yeah, bro, you like cursed me or something. Put a voodoo on my character, my well-being.
Bro, I'm cursed right now. Oh, it's not working because I'm still in the fucking updating profile thingy. We almost spent almost a whole hour on Final number 2. How about number 1? We throw an hour in there? Yeah. Hurr, 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 hurr. Yep. You know what? I'm closing TF2 easy. It's pissing me off. You already took 11 keys from me.
Yes, I'll plug in my good mic. The only reason I don't use this mic is there's like nowhere to put it. It's always in my way if I put it on my desk. There's barely any room on my desk as is.
The Yeti or some shit.
Yeah,
The Snowball or whatever it's called.
it's a Yeti. Blue Yeti microphone. But just, like, there's no room on my desk, bro.
My good microphone's the webcam mic.
Yeah, just this microphone. Fuck, it was pretty expensive. It was like $80, but not some like Hollywood level shit, but it's pretty good. Where the fuck is the cord for this shit?
Sunday, like, I don't know if people understand that the Sunday livestream 1 means there's only going to be one number 1. Like, there's no redos in
Think.
life.
Yeah.
People are missing out on the Silent Marksman masterclass.
That cord was plugged in to my drawing tablet, which I don't know where the fuck that is. It's gone. Not in there. What the fuck? Oh, here it is. And it's not plugged into it. Let's see.
Sometimes those USBs just break. One of mine broke and it doesn't work.
This thing's about to fucking break, bro. Cord.
Yeah, you're about to
Where
fucking...
the fuck is it? Oh, is that it? Right here? Yep, found it. Yeah, I should probably tape the end of this or something. Bunch of exposed wires, but whatever.
There's so many spiders fucking where my shit is, all the plugins.
Aren't you afraid of spiders or something?
No. I mean, if there's one on me, bro, I'm gonna fucking scream.
Yeah. I just don't like bugs in general, bro.
They're actually arachnids.
Same thing.
Nope.
Yep.
Bugs, insects
All
have
right.
6 legs. Spiders have 8.
I don't like small insectoid-like creatures that may be spiky or hairy or anything like that. All right. Big mic's plugged in. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Bump, bump, bump.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound a lot better now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to turn you down. Holy shit.
Is it loud?
It's pretty fucking loud.
Yeah, it's because this other mic, it's like away from my face and it doesn't pick up very well. But this is a big ass mic and it's recording the entire front end of it. So
Come on, upgrader.
all right, let me.
This is.
Stream's working.
It just doesn't want my keys, bro.
Start streaming. Okay. Stream. YouTube.
Feeling red, feeling blue. Plus hats and wear them too. Just got the game for you.
Well, it says it. I'm connected. Stream key is missing. Stream key. Get stream key. Oh, okay.
Hello?
He says I'm streaming.
I'll check. Yeah, you are.
Yeah. It's a game showing though.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. All right, perfect. Can you hear me? Like in
It's
the
a
stream?
game showing though. Yes, it is.
All
All
right.
right, perfect.
Nice. Can you hear me?
Now
Like,
I
in
got
the
a
stream?
fucking. All right, lock in.
Yeah, I don't hear myself on.
I got a fucking. Lock
You
in.
don't?
I don't hear myself on. I don't know if that matters for PUBG.
I mean, yeah.
Was that on purpose?
I'm PUBG down. Well, I need to hear PUBG. I don't know why.
I'm not worried about you or the police. This is a little game to me. People like you want to tarnish your own people from being successful. You'll never understand the hustle and the grind I do.
Says that's
I
the
do this every day.
speakers.
I could buy 10 lawnmowers if I wanted to. Cheap lawnmower. What? You can't even afford a John
Can you hear
Deere
like the
or
menu
a Cub
music in
Cadet
PUBG?
like a real
Like, can you
man
hear
like
anything
me?
at all?
You're a clown.
Or
and
just
we'll
my
all-
voice?
Or just my voice.
Okay. So it's just not playing
Yeah, I don't hear the
audio.
video.
Can you hear like the menu music? Okay.
Okay,
I'll be desktop.
maybe that fixed it?
It's very quiet.
Okay. So you're just hearing that through my headphones. Now why am I not picking up audio? Properties, speakers, Razer Nazari Essential, yeah. You say something?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't say anything.
It says it's picking up, like it's picking up your voice on the audio mixer.
Huh. I don't hear it playing through the published GS.
Say something?
Hello! Oi, mate! No? No, two's watching, bro.
Always be a clown. In the meantime, I'm going to purchase a new lawnmower. This time electric, so I can keep it in the house. 2 days later, the sheriff contacted me and said the warrant is live. If his license plate is read by a plate reader, or if an officer runs his plates after a stop, he'll be arrested. They don't have an active address for him except for his mother's address. I'm extremely satisfied with the sheriff's department's response to this. Honestly, I don't know if I should forward this to his mother or not. A good friend of mine, who's a corporate lawyer, reviewed the terms of Lawn Starter and said that this is a great case for a lawsuit. He offered to handle it pro bono. He believes that there's a good chance they won't fight it and will settle out of court. Am I the jerk for telling my sister that if she wants to give second chances to people, then she should do it herself? My sister Zoe is kind to a fault. She gives people second chances, but she's too trusting with those she gives them to, and it ends up having consequences for whichever family member Zoe convinces to stick their neck out. For example, my grandparents were talking about needing a cleaner, and Zoe
See
suggested
here.
they hire her friend Ash. After several months, my grandparents found out that Ash had been stealing from my grandma's jewelry. Zoe had also recommended Ash's cleaning services to our grandparents' friends, and now we suspect she may have stolen from them as well. Zoe made excuses, claiming Ash was a good person but had a difficult home life. She said Ash only took the jewelry because she was trying to get away from her parents. My grandparents were not amused and said Ash was lucky. That was the only reason they didn't report her. Later, Zoe recommended another friend, Lily, as a babysitter to our brother's son, Max. According to Max, Lily was on her phone the whole time, and he was left to fend for himself when it came to dinner. He also said Lily was mean to him, and Max isn't the type to make up stories like that. Again, Zoe made excuses, saying Lily's boyfriend had just broken up with her and that she's a good person who's just going through a rough patch. I couldn't help but roll my eyes. What kind of good person treats a kid poorly to feel better about herself? Naturally, Michael, our brother, was furious at Zoe for recommending Lily. Zoe kept pushing me to talk to Michael and agree with her, but I eventually had enough. I told Zoe that while I understand her desire to give people second chances, none of the people she recommends ever seem trustworthy. I suggested she put her own neck on the line next time so she could see why we're all frustrated with bearing the consequences of her kindness, and then having her insist that she did the right thing.
I bet I know what it was.
After
I think
that,
I was
our
on the
parents
wrong
got
audio
involved.
track.
They said they understood why Michael and I were frustrated, and they would talk to Zoe about being naive. However, they also believed Zoe was just trying to do a good deed, and they thought I should
almost guarantee
apologize
that's what
to
it
her
was.
because,
I have separate audio
regardless of the
tracks.
situation, it's wrong to criticize someone with the
Yeah, I
best
only have
intentions.
two.
Normally, our
I don't-
parents don't interfere in our disputes.
Well,
We're all
I
adults
have
now. But
my
this
first
time
audio
they
tracks for
stepped
my
in,
mic, my
which has left
second's
me
for
torn.
gameplay, and my
Should I
third has
apologize,
both.
or
So I
should
just
I
put it
stand
on
my
audio
ground?
track 3. So let's see if that.
Not the jerk. It sounds like Zoe has to believe these things or make excuses because she doesn't have trustworthy, reliable friends, and that's actually sad. If she had to admit her friends made poor choices, maybe she's worried she has no good friends, which I don't think she has. You're not wrong. She can keep these friends, but also acknowledge that what they did was wrong and illegal,
Save.
like stealing jewelry.
Wait.
Zoe is welcome to have Ash
Customization,
clean
live
her
chat.
house and can donate her jewelry if she'd like.
Anyone.
But Zoe
live
should absolutely be
reactions.
responsible for telling
Okay,
others
so
that her
everything looks
recommendations have had
good.
issues to give them a heads up. An example is, I had a bad tradesperson I used and referred to many people. I didn't know he was shady until something happened. I immediately called everyone I referred him to, explained what he did, and told them to stop using him or to be careful.
Okay, I'm
I
live.
felt that was my responsibility since it was my referral.
I'm live.
No excuses. Am I the jerk for kicking my uncle out of his house? I, 23, male, was very close to my grandfather, who
I
passed
can
away
hear the
last
menu
year.
music. Talk, John.
He left
Say
me his
something.
entire estate, including the house, after my grandma divorced him. Before he passed, my grandma had asked me to let her son, my uncle, who's 50, not biologically related to my grandfather, rent the house.
Yep.
They set up a 3-year
I didn't
contract
turn
for
my headphones
$1,800 a
down
month,
because-
and at the end of it, he could buy the house for $377,000. The contract ends this November. After a lengthy probate process, the house is now officially in my name. My uncle had asked that I'd extend the contract because of high interest rates, but I didn't want to. I'm hoping to buy my own home soon. My grandma pressured me, saying, it's family, so I reluctantly agreed to extend it for 3 more years. While I was waiting for a new contract to be drafted, my uncle asked if he could start construction on the house.
Is
I
everything
said
working?
no, but
John?
then a friend of mine,
What's
who was
working?
doing the
watching-
work,
are you
told me
watching
that my
stream or
uncle
no?
had already...
Video is unavailable.
Right here, hold on.
Did you make a new live stream?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Right here, hold on.
I think I fixed it. I don't
New
know.
live stream?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Just tell me.
I think I fixed it. I don't know.
Yourself.
I don't hear the CSGO.
Well, hold on.
Just tell me if you can hear
The PUBG.
yourself.
It's playing now.
I hear the CSGO.
Hold on, just-
Well, hold on.
I barely
Alright.
hear myself.
It-
That is me.
It's playing now. Hold on, just wait.
I barely
Okay.
hear myself. That is me.
Okay.
Okay.
There's audio coming out of it. You're all fucking. There's audio coming out of it. So you're all fucking. I'll just turn you up in Discord, I guess. I'll just turn you up in Discord, I guess.
Discord.
Alright, should be good. I'm gonna do casual mode so that I don't fuck over
Alright.
the whole squad by loading in late. I don't fuck over
Why does it load and wait?
the whole squad. I don't know, bro. I don't know why it does that. Like, I'll show you. If it does it in this game, then you'll be able to see what I mean. I don't know, bro. I don't know why it does that. Like, I'll show you. If it does it in this game, then you'll be able to see what I mean. You'll be able to see what I mean. I don't know why it does that. Like, I'll show you. If it does it in this game, then you'll be able to see what I mean. Shit, bro. That Lethal Company video has 300 views. You're famous. Like, shit, bro. That Lethal Company video has 300 views. You're famous. Didn't you know it was me when you walked out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you know it was me when you walked out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then it pans to you. You're
Yeah, bro. I was coming to fucking help you. Yeah, bro. I was coming to fucking help you. My audio is good?
Your audio is good on the Lethal Company. It's a shame your clipping software didn't record
My audio is good?
audio too.
Oh. Oh yeah, my mic. Yeah, bro. I was panicking. Oh. Oh yeah, my mic. What the fuck you do? Panicking. Yeah, I didn't think taking it outside would kill you.
Fuck me neither.
Yeah, I didn't think. I guess it makes sense, but.
There's a new entity in the game, right? That bag.
I guess it makes sense, but it's not an entity. It's an item that you could buy, and you can carry like 15 items in it. And other players can like open and put shit into the bag items in it when you're wearing it. And other players can like open and put shit. Well, it's only for items that you buy. When you're wearing it. So like a flashlight. Yeah, it is good, but you know, if you could put scrap in it, and that would be fucking insane. Yeah, it is good, but
is it expensive?
You know, if you could put scrap in it, then that would be probably. I don't know. I haven't played Lethal Company. I only play with you, and you haven't been playing anything. So probably. I don't know. I haven't played Lethal Company. I only play with you, and you haven't been playing anything. So I could probably check it out. So yeah, bro. Like. The plane, I hear the plane right now. We're in the plane. Like, people are probably jumping out of the plane right now, and I'm still in this fucking loading screen. I hear the plane right now. We're in the plane. Like, people are probably jumping out of the plane right now, and I'm still in this fucking loading screen. And then usually, by the time I load in, I was already kicked out of the plane because the plane flew across the entire map. I was already kicked out of the plane because the plane flew across the entire map. Like, I don't know why. I can't think of any. I mean, probably I looked, bro, but it was like. Whenever I was looking stuff up, I was talking about the loading times, like the amount of time you get into a lobby, which isn't my problem. I'm in a lobby, I just can't like play in it. Oh, I'm already on the ground. I'm in a lobby, I just can't like play in it. Oh, I'm already on the ground. Oh, look at that! Right at the end of the map. Oh, look at that!
Man,
right at the end of the map.
Tablet, so I'm not drawing that well. I kind of miss my drawing tablet. I'm not drawing that well.
And my headphones won't fucking work properly. Looks like basically nobody landed here, so trio down the hill. Nobody landed here, so trio down the hill.
man. I don't know, man.
Oh man. The first game always sucks because I asked, like, I spawn on the opposite side map. There's like nobody here. I saw like 3 AIs land in the area, and I don't know where the fuck they are. There's like nobody here. Like normally I like
started construction without my permission.
I usually play
I went
somewhat
to check it out,
aggressive.
and
not-
sure enough,
like I don't just
major
hide in
work had been
buildings all
done
game.
without permits.
I tried to move
I confronted
around
him, and
kill
he denied
people.
it until I showed him photos. He claimed it was his house and that he could do whatever he wanted.
So I'm not really talking.
Later,
I'm just
during
trying
the family
to
holiday,
focus
my
on
uncle and his
getting
girlfriend
somewhere.
ambushed me, proposing a 5-year contract with lenient rent terms,
Yeah,
no
like look how far
restrictions on
away I am,
construction,
bro.
and permission to be
Let's run through
sublet.
this city.
I refused and said I'd have my lawyer draft the contract
find a fucking
instead.
car.
During probate, my uncle and his girlfriend discussed
over
what they
there.
would prefer contract-wise, leaving it more
Like I'm not
open
worried about
ended.
getting caught in the
I
blue
listened to their
because
wants,
it's only
but
the
I told
first
them I would send
phase.
them a contract drafted by my lawyer
The
once the
blue
house
isn't
was
really a
in my
problem
name.
until phase 5.
A few months later, my uncle, his girlfriend, and my grandmother sent me the
Like,
5-year
as long as you have
contract they had
medkits and
proposed
shit,
during the
you
family
gotta heal
holiday.
it.
I firmly declined. My grandmother then called and went off on me for not signing, claiming that if it weren't for her, I wouldn't have inherited anything from my grandpa.
There's no way.
At that point, I lost my temper
There's
and
no way
said,
nobody landed
"You've
here."
got to be kidding me." She responded, "Your grandpa would be disappointed in you for using that language with me." I replied, "Don't use my grandpa against me."
So the way casual
and I hung
works,
up.
there's only like 20
Since
real
then, my
players, and
grandma
the
and
rest are
uncle have
AI.
cut me off. I had my lawyer
So-
draft a new contract. 3 years, no
I'm only doing
subletting,
casual
and a
'cause
clause
when you play
requiring
normal
my
mode,
approval for construction.
It's like I'm
The rest of the
basically
original contract for
I
my
could be
grandpa is the same.
like sabotaging
Now
the
my
entire
uncle
team
is
by
saying
not
he can only
fucking
qualify
being
for
able to jump out right
350
away. So
instead of the
playing casual mode just
377
kinda
that he owes me. And my
eliminates that.
family
Like,
is pressuring me to accept the lower offer, accusing me of
well,
forcing
no,
him out.
just
Am I the jerk for refusing
like
his
it's just
contract,
it's a little less
insisting he pay the full
stressful.
amount, signing
than
my
this.
contract,
It's a lot
or moving
easier.
out, and standing
Like
my
normally
ground
people wouldn't split
despite
up like
family
this.
pressure?
But
Not
since
the
it's casual
jerk.
and it's mostly AI,
Prime
it doesn't really
example
matter.
of mess
And even if
around
you
and
lose this
find
game,
out.
it's like it's not an
OP,
actual game.
please talk to your attorney about both renters' rights and squatters'
It's a
rights
little-
in your area, as well as if the non-permitted work will have any
It's like if
impact
I would
on
play
your
PUBG
ownership.
and some guy
Am I the jerk for
didn't
telling
jump
my
out
mom that I'm not
until the very
going on
last minute,
vacation to
and then we
celebrate
all
my
died,
half-brother's
I would be
16th
kind of
birthday?
a little angry.
I, 16 male, will be 17
Sometimes
soon.
it takes
I live
a
with my
good amount of
dad.
time to get into these
My
games.
parents are divorced, but there's a
sometimes.
twist. They were already divorced when I was conceived, a couple of weeks after.
Fuck,
Dad
man,
was
it's
clear
cold
he
in here.
wanted
I'm
to
like
be in my
fucking
life.
shivering. This
Mom
doesn't-
and he didn't get back together, and while Mom was pregnant with me, she met her now husband, Dan. It was awkward from the start, especially when Dan showed up at the hospital while Mom was in labor, but Dad was in the delivery room. Things got worse during Mom and Dan's
Like this is a game mode a lot of
because
people
Dan
like
wanted to
join.
take
You can
me
only
out of
play 3 of
state for
these
4
every day,
nights without
and
Mom.
people join in
Since
this
Dad had to
to
give permission for that, he said no.
like warm up.
Dan argued that he was going to be my
Kinda like
second dad,
MTE-ish.
that I'd grow up with 2 dads,
Like to practice
and that he
your
should be
aim.
trusted to take me out of state.
Like
Dan
you're
would constantly
supposed
talk
to see
bad
AI like
about
this.
my
This
dad
this poor
and bring up
this
that
poor fella
incident,
here.
saying Dad treated him like a lesser
I
parent.
doubt this is a real player.
He also complained about Dad pushing him out of the delivery room, which I think he's still jealous about.
Yeah.
Dan even mentioned the fact that my parents were divorced before I was born. I hated Dan for talking that way about my dad, and my loyalty has always been with my dad. I rejected Dan every chance I got, and he blamed my dad for that. Mom never told Dan to stop. In fact, she encouraged us to spend time together. When I was younger, I made Dan's life miserable as payback for how he talked about my dad. I caused scenes when Dan tried to make others believe he was my dad, even in front of my half-brother. I probably hate Dan as much as he hates my dad. My half-brother grew up knowing how I feel about Dan and how Dan feels about my dad, so now he hates my dad on Dan's behalf. He doesn't like how I treat Dan, so we fight a lot. He says Dan is a better dad and that I should treat him better. We do not like each other at all. I can honestly say I don't love or care about my half-brother, and I have no loyalty to him. We've never had a good relationship. We constantly argue about Dan or my dad. Our relationship hit rock bottom when I told him I would never like or respect Dan and that I'd celebrate if Mom and Dan divorced and I never had to see him again. My half-brother believes Dan deserves better. I hated living at Mom's house so much that last year, Dad asked the judge to give him full custody. I was interviewed and custody was changed. I still have to go to Mom's 1 weekend a month until I turn 18. My half-brother is turning 16 in May, and Mom has promised him a birthday vacation. She wanted to check dates with me so we could all be there, but I told her I'm not going. I said I'm not celebrating her other son and won't in the future either. She started crying and asking why we had to be like this. She said we're family and that I might regret losing a brother one day. I told her I'm not changing my mind, and she said I was being unfair to everyone. Am I the jerk? Not the jerk. This all started with Dan declaring you were going to have 2 dads. If he had just accepted a role as a step-parent and friend, all of the fighting and animosity may never have happened. This looks like a done deal at this point, and everyone has to accept the situation as it is. OP. Dan is still trying to win.
Okay, I
but
got
meant what I told
put in
my
the complete
half-brother
opposite
about
side of
how
the fucking
glad I
map
would
from
be
where
if
the
he and
circle's
Mom
gonna be.
divorced and I never saw him again. I have zero respect for the guy, and don't ever mention
If
him
I didn't
when I
find
talk
this
about my
fucking
family to others.
Jeep, I probably
But he's
would have died,
blinded
bro.
by
To be
this
honest, I
need
was
to
so
stick it to my
fucking
dad.
far in there.
Not the jerk, because you're just a kid in a tough situation. I don't really understand all the delivery room stuff, and I don't think it's worth worrying about what happened 17 years ago before you were born. You can decline to go on the vacation. Not the jerk. Your mom's husband talked crap about your
And then in
dad
this
all
final-
your life. Your mom
final
does
part of
not
the game,
step
I'm gonna
in
have
and
to
tell
fight
her
the
not to
20
do that,
real
and
players.
then doesn't understand why you
killed all
don't
the
have a
bots.
healthy relationship with her husband and his
And
son.
that's where I just fucking die.
Am I the jerk if I stop cooking for my boyfriend?
I can't
My
even outrun
boyfriend and
this
I
fucking
made an
circle,
agreement
man.
that because I come home later from work than he does, he cooks dinner and I cook lunch. It's been going well so far, but he doesn't put in nearly as much effort cooking dinner as I do for lunch. For example, his dinners
I
for
don't
us
think you ever
mostly
played
involve
PUBG with me,
microwaving
bro.
frozen foods. I, on the other hand, cook on the pan and make food that I buy from the grocery store. Chicken, vegetables, dumplings, etc. My food takes a
Fuck,
lot of
man.
effort, and I'm excited for us to eat it.
I don't have
I'm
time to
happy
fight
my
those
effort
guys.
will
I'm
pay
way too
off
low.
since we'll be eating something healthy and nutritious. The issue is, he doesn't want to eat my food unless I pack it for him. I usually make the food and expect both of us to pack our own lunch. But nope, he refuses to eat it unless I pack his lunch for him. So, feeling slightly offended, I decided to stop packing his lunch altogether from that day on. And since then, he has not eaten any of the food I cooked for us. For many days, I was left eating twice the portions because he wasn't eating them, or I ended up throwing it away. He would rather starve than pack his own lunch. Am I the jerk if I stop packing his lunch for him? I feel really bad eating nutritious food while he's left starving or eating frozen meals. But at the same time, I feel like he kind of did this to himself. I cooked for him, and all he has to do is scoop it into a container. Edit. No, it's not difficult for me to put food in a container for him. I just don't understand why he can't do it himself. I cook the food. He's not disabled or handicapped. I don't expect him to plate my dinners for me. It's not about the time spent packing lunch, it's about the principle. I feel like I'm his girlfriend, not his mother. Another edit, to be fair. He doesn't always do frozen foods for dinner. Occasionally, he will actually cook something, but he says he hates cooking. so it's usually just some meat and nothing else. For example, a steak with no sides, no vegetables, no sauce, just steak with salt and pepper. It's low-effort food that takes 10 minutes at most, so it wouldn't take up much of his time. He has time to pack his own food, and no, he does not plate it for me. I don't expect him to. Sometimes it's chicken with just peas, pasta with chicken and canned tomato sauce, macaroni and cheese from a box, stuff like that. Another edit, because some people suggested he might be buying lunch instead of packing it. He doesn't buy his lunch. I'm 99% sure of this. I know how he is. He's very much against spending money on food outside. He only spends money on food when we go out on dates or when he needs things for his hobbies. I've seen how he is when he has no lunch. He'll eat a can of tuna and a can of pineapples from our emergency pantry if he has to. He will not buy food outside. So yes, while I'm eating the nutritious food I cooked for us, he's eating really crappy food because he doesn't want to pack his lunch. Edit. We're both 22.
Yeah.
Final edit. I talked to him about it, and he said it's okay. We can just make our own food from now on. So I guess now I'm making my own dinners and my own lunches, and so is he. It's not ideal, but oh well. I really would have liked us to talk it out and start cooking for each other and just serving ourselves, but it's okay. My Karen ex kicked me out of our house, and we have a 4-month-old baby together. I'm really just looking for any words of advice, consolation, or even a reality check. I'm so torn up right now, and the sadness is eating me alive. We've been together for just over 2 years now. We found out she was pregnant 1 year into our relationship, and after so much back and forth on both parts, we decided to keep the baby. The baby was born 4 months ago, and he's the biggest joy in our lives. I love him with all of my heart, and my partner, well, my ex, does too. And I'm so happy that she's the mother of my baby, because I love so much about her, from her beauty and her likes and her dislikes to her imperfections, but most of
There's
all,
somebody
the way that she
real
cares
here.
for our baby.
To my right.
I work more than full-time in order to pay our rent, groceries, leisure, clothing, etc. for her, the baby, and myself. I'm working extremely hard to provide her with the ability to be a stay-at-home mother in one of the most esteemed cities in Southern California. I do this because I've assumed the financial responsibility of parenting, and I seek to give the mother the best possible, stress-free life with the ability to be 100% present and available during such a tender time for the both of them. She had been mentioning how she fell out of love with me and didn't feel as romantically engaged in me as before. I tried suggesting this could be due to hormonal changes after giving birth to the baby, while still acknowledging her feelings. The first couple of months after birth, our love life was active, and she was deeply in love with me, or so I thought. Things started to decline as I came back to work and was less present around the house. I really wanted to try to raise my son with my partner in the same household. We tried therapy, did a few sessions, over the span of 1.5 months, had some insight into our situation, but no resolution yet. It came to the point where she told me that she was completely out of love with me and done trying.
No way, someone isn't
That she
watching this, but
appreciated all the financial support and how
whatever.
good I am with our baby, but that I lacked the emotional space for
No,
her
this fucking
and the
loot,
baby,
this
which
supply
breaks my
drop, bro.
heart.
There's probably
She
someone
told me that she
fucking.
likes nothing about me and actually despises who I am, and that it was a mistake to have a baby with me. She expresses how she is completely romantically detached from me and how she wants to find romance and love again, and that it can't work with me in the picture.
I think it's the first
She
time I
had
ever
been
got the ghillie
consciously
suit, bro. I'm
keeping my
never able to
baby
get
away
supply
from my
drops in
parents,
this game.
his grandparents. They only got to hold him once or twice after he was born. She keeps the baby away from her own mother. She's an elementary school tutor. Meanwhile, my partner's father is home with her every day, caring for our baby while I'm at work, and he's even spending the night at our house. Her father is well-abled, retired, jobless, lives off Social Security, but too prideful to work consistent jobs. Therefore, he has no home or rental. He lived out of a cheap motel until they found that I could house him for free.
The
I'm
fuck are all
grateful
the
of how
people,
he's
man?
able
Did they
to be
jump
present
instantly?
to help my partner get sleep and look after the baby while I'm away, working for
Oh.
the family. Both of them
Oh,
know
I
this.
fucking saw some people.
Everything hit the fan after I was told
You
that I
recognize this
needed
place,
to pay for
John?
my partner to have a running
What's
car
up?
that was up to date with
You
insurance
recognize
and
this place,
registration.
this location,
I have 2 cars and only drive one daily.
this area?
Her having a car is a
Oh
given
my
to me,
There's people,
and I was
there's
not trying to
people
hold
down
back
on
this
the
necessity.
to the right at
But
the
they
bottom of the bridge.
basically
I saw 'em
forced me
running.
into a
It's on my
situation
live
where I
stream.
had
On the
to
beach
sell
over
my
here.
work
Right,
vehicle
ended one.
in order to pay for her car, over $2,000,
Yeah.
to get her back on the road. I didn't see her car as high priority, considering her father was living with her and was driving her into town every day, and I picked her and our baby up after work daily. I asked if there was any way that I could have some help in this situation, perhaps from her father, and that my work vehicle greatly facilitated my work life. She took this as me not being willing to sell my car and me not wanting her to have a working car. She walked out to her father, who came back angry and aggressive, asking me why I always push back to stop getting in the way of everything
Fuck are
and
those
do
two
what his daughter
players at?
says. I simply told him I have no problem in getting her car up and running and that I misunderstood just how high priority it was, considering the situation. He told me I had to grow up and got extremely aggressive towards me. Her seeing her father in this state really triggered her, as she views him in a very good light and almost whatever he says goes in her mind. I was then kicked out of my own home on the premise that she needed 3 nights of space and this relationship wasn't working. It has since been 2 nights. She let me see my son for 30 minutes yesterday. Half of the time he was sleeping. The other half I was trying to spend talking to her. We were in a busy environment and didn't get anywhere. She hears what I have to say, but has no feelings or empathy for me. She says we will do 3 more nights and then we'll see. I'm now kicked out of my house, living on friends' couches, while her and her father are living in the 2-bedroom space with 4 beds that I have paid for nearly 12 months. I can't believe this is my reality, and I'm absolutely devastated that I can't be with our baby or sleep under the same roof as them. As a father and protector, this is my biggest nightmare. Somebody, please give me insight. Get a lawyer ASAP. Look into what rights you have in your area and get everything you need in order to be in your kid's life. Am I the jerk for making my husband leave a wedding reception with me? My husband,
man.
34 male, and I, 32 female, have been married for 8 years, and we have 2 kids who are 6 and 4. I'm currently 7 months pregnant with our 3rd. This has been by far my worst pregnancy. Overall, health-wise, me and the baby are fine, no major issues. But the general fatigue and discomfort of being pregnant, while also having 2 other kids to take care of, is wearing on me. I've also had more nausea and terrible heartburn. As a result of me being tired literally all the time, my husband has had to take on a lot of additional household and childcare duties. He's been great about it, and things are still running smoothly, even though I can do about 1/3 of the household and kid stuff that I usually did. This past weekend, we attended a wedding for one of my friends from college. My husband knows a lot of people in this friend group, and he was really looking forward to some adult social interaction. The wedding was a 3-hour drive from our place, so he got his parents to babysit and booked a hotel so we wouldn't have to drive home and we could enjoy the reception. I felt fine all day up until halfway through the reception. It was like I hit a wall energy-wise and started getting terrible heartburn. My husband was off mingling with people while I pretty much just sat at the table for over an hour talking with whoever came by to say hi. My husband came over to check on me and I told him I wasn't
So
feeling
fucking
well
cold in my
and I
room
wanted
right
to
now,
leave.
man.
He asked if I would be comfortable taking the shuttle back to
Yeah.
the hotel by myself so that he could stick around
I'm like
and keep
shaking,
socializing.
man. Like I'm not
I
nervous.
told
It's
him
just
I want
fucking
him to
cold
come
as
back
fuck.
to the room with me in case I start feeling worse so that he can take care of me. He didn't protest or argue with me, but he did give a big sigh.
Fuck,
in
man.
the,
Whatever.
okay, fine kind of way.
Killed
When we
that
got
guy.
back to the room, I was so exhausted that I fell asleep immediately. He was short with me all morning as we were getting ready to leave. A lot of one-word
holy
answers
shit.
kind of stuff. On the way home, I asked him what his deal was, and he said he's frustrated that I made him go back to the room with me, only for me to fall asleep. He said if he knew I was just going to fall asleep, he would have stayed at the reception for longer. He said this was the first social interaction he's had in months, and with the new baby coming, will probably be his last social interaction like that for months again. I told him that I didn't make him come back with me. I just told him I wanted him to in case I felt worse. I also told him my health should be his priority over any social event anyway.
Can you let that guy
He
live?
said that wasn't really
Kidding
giving
me?
him a chance, because if he stayed, even if I fell asleep right away like I did, I would still hold it against him that he chose wrong. He said he was just enjoying behaving like an adult instead of a dad for one night, and he's allowed to be frustrated that was cut short. It might just be hormones, but his attitude is making me feel guilty about this. You're the jerk. You had heartburn. You weren't in any danger. You ruined his night, and it sounds like you did it out of jealousy and selfishness. Do this next. Tap here on your screen to come see our new podcast playlist, where you'll find thousands of hours of the best stories you've ever heard. Or tap the one on the right. That episode is specifically just for you, based on other videos you've enjoyed the most. Welcome to r/Am I the Jerk, where Karen posts a TikTok about her friend's husband and really ends up regretting it. Am I the jerk for calling my friend a creepy weirdo after she posted a TikTok about my husband? I, 28 female, am friends with this girl. Let's call her June. She's also 28. In fact, my
Alright.
husband, who's 32, and I often
no,
hang
my
out with June and her
test stream.
boyfriend, going on double dates and having weekend trips. We've known each other for over 2 years
Bro,
now.
I'm gonna
I would say that the four of us were
I'm
pretty
gonna get
tight
off,
as a
bro. It's
group
like
up until this
fucking cold in
weekend.
here. I gotta go
My
get
husband is an
something to eat or something.
orthodontist. One of his patients is June's half-sister, Rhea, who's 12.
Call you.
June
Are you
often
still streaming?
accompanies Rhea to her dental appointments.
Are you still
June is
streaming?
also a small-time online influencer. She's always recording and vlogging.
All right.
Though my husband and
Well,
I
I'll
have
call you
made it
later or
clear
something,
that
bro.
we're
I'm gonna fuck-
absolutely
Okay.
not okay with our faces in her vlogs
Arm up.
online, and she seemed to respect our boundary. We don't use social media, apart from Reddit, and we trusted her word when she said that she wouldn't post us online. Cut to last weekend. My brother sent me a TikTok link with the message, "Dude, you gotta watch this." I opened the link, which directed me to June's TikTok account. She doesn't have many followers, less than 10,000, but the particular video he sent me had like 500,000 views and likes. Lo and behold, it was a video compilation of my husband with the title, "God, I see what you've done for others." The video was honestly the creepiest thing I've ever seen. She had recorded my husband during various double dates, and it was clear he wasn't even aware that he was being recorded. In some of the clips, she would start with her face and then pan the camera towards my husband with a cutesy expression and mouthing words like, "Oh my God." The worst one was when he was working on her half-sister, Rhea, wearing scrubs, and she'd recorded even that. She didn't even bother to blur out the kid's face while she was lying on the dental chair. I showed the video to my husband, and he was horrified. He said it made him feel so uncomfortable and violated, knowing that someone had been secretly recording him. He was angry that she had recorded him working on a patient. He texted her asking her to take the video down and delete every video she has of him. First, she feigned ignorance. Then she said that she meant no harm and that it was all for online engagement, since, I quote, "TikToks with hot guys go viral very fast," and that she had gained a lot of followers after posting it. This was all so weird, but my husband and I got our families and friends to report the video, and thankfully it's being taken down now. This ticked off June, and she sent me a long text saying how I was jealous of her online success and that I couldn't stand seeing her succeed, blah blah blah. I finally replied saying, "You're delusional and unhinged. You're not successful and you'll never be. Stay away from us, you creepy weirdo." Now she's all weepy and depressed and has been telling our common friends how mean I was to her. She's also been posting about mental health on her socials and about how mean some women are with their words. Am I the jerk? Not the jerk. People who think online engagement is more important than basic human decency are sadly not at all uncommon, and they are, as you say, delusional and unhinged. Their success is not real, and except in a very few cases, it never will be. Am I the jerk if I break up with my fiance after she showed a startling change of behavior after getting engaged? I, 32 male, recently proposed to my girlfriend of 2 years, Sharon, who's 30, about a month and a half ago. From the start, our relationship seemed great, compatible in beliefs and
Yeah,
morals.
I'm gonna have to stand up.
But
Fuck
after
this
I
chair.
proposed,
I'm tired of
her
this damn
attitude
chair.
and behavior seemed to do a total
I can't do
180.
shit.
What felt like the happiest moment quickly shifted, and now I'm unsure where we stand. Not even a week after the proposal, I came home to find 6 women in my house who I had never met before. I thought I knew all of her friends, so I was curious. Sharon introduced them as her inner circle, saying she wanted to make sure we were a sure thing before I met them. I found it strange that I was just now meeting these people, especially since I had already met her 2 best friends, Michelle and Octavia, over a year ago. It was a weeknight, and they were draining my wine rack, which felt incredibly rude. Sharon has her own place, but practically lives with me, so I found it disrespectful when they left, leaving behind 4 empty bottles of rosé. When I tried to talk to Sharon about having uninvited guests on weeknights, she brushed me off and dismissed my concerns. In the weeks that followed, she went out with the girls several times and brought them over to my place again, twice without notice and once with notice just to appease me, her words. Each time they treated me like a butler, shaking their empty wine glasses for refills. After the 4th time, I told Sharon I was going to get a locked wine rack. She just
so
called
much
me
better.
no fun. Things escalated when Sharon decided I'd gotten off on the wrong foot with her friends, so she arranged a dinner at a nice restaurant. I went, and it was terrible. They probed me with questions about my life, house, and career, but deflected every question I asked them. The conversation took a weird turn when they started discussing modern relationships and jealousy. One of them brought up polyamory and staying friends with exes, topics that I thought Sharon and I had clear agreements on. To my surprise, Sharon said we shouldn't be too hasty on those decisions, a complete 180 from her previous stance of being strictly monogamous and against staying friends with exes. Then, when the bill came, Sharon announced that it would be split together and slid me the check. I told her she couldn't be serious, and we had a brief argument. I put down my share in cash and left, letting them handle the rest. Sharon called me toxic and fragile for the next few days, though she would apologize and blame it on being stressed at work. It got worse this Monday. While I was at work, I got a Nest doorbell alert, and I saw Sharon and one of her friends entering my house and leaving with my golf clubs. The set was a gift from my father and is quite valuable, so her lending them out without my permission made me furious. I immediately called Sharon and demanded they return the clubs. She tried to gaslight me, saying I had promised to lend them to her friend's boyfriend, which was a lie. I warned her that taking something of that value without permission could be considered theft, and they had an hour to return the clubs or I'd call the police. Less than 45 minutes later, they returned the clubs, and I saw on the doorbell camera that Sharon's friend gave a rude gesture to the camera on the way out. When I got home, I found my golf clubs carelessly thrown on the floor. Sharon again tried to talk to me about my toxicity, and I told her I wasn't buying it anymore. I told her if I had known she would act this way, I would have never proposed. This seemed to freak her out, and she insisted that she was just stressed from work, but I wasn't convinced. I told her to return the ring and her key and that we would talk about our relationship this weekend. She cried and begged me to not cancel the engagement, again blaming stress. I told her we would talk this weekend, and she finally relented. I had my house re-keyed after she left just to be safe. Since then, Sharon has been texting me constantly apologizing and saying she got swept up and only wanted to show me off to her close friends. However, I'm not buying it. Her close friends have been texting me daily, calling me toxic and fragile again, and saying that they knew I wasn't man enough for Sharon or secure enough to share her with her friends. Some of my friends who have known Sharon the whole time we've been dating are surprised and can't believe she changed so quickly. They think something is missing or that I must have triggered her friends somehow. They're even suggesting that I might have been the one in the wrong somewhere along the process. Honestly, it's a lot to process, and I'm getting pulled in all directions right now. 2 years and she never introduced you to these friends? She knows how terrible they are and how terrible she is with them. She put on quite a show to get the ring, and now that she thought she had you locked down, she can show her true colors. Unless you're leaving out something, you're definitely not the jerk. You're not toxic or fragile, you have standards. What she did at the restaurant and with the clubs is toxic. It seems like she wants to show them she has you wrapped around her finger and that you will allow her, and them, to do whatever they want. I wouldn't give her another chance to use you for what you can do or give to her. No one that loves you would treat you like this, friends or no friends present. Would I be the jerk for not having my cancer-stricken ex-husband stay with me through his treatment? Plus updates. For most of our marriage, my husband, who's 39, and I, 37 female, had a very happy relationship. We had good jobs, decent money, 2 kids, and we loved each other. Then he was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer, and we went through years of painful treatments and recovery together. We moved to a small house to be close to the research center where he underwent treatment. His parents paid half of the down payment on the house. The other half was from our savings and investments. In the divorce, he gave me the house and took all of his medical debt. We've been divorced for a year, but now his cancer has come back, and he needs treatment again at the same research hospital. He wants to stay in what is now my house while undergoing treatment, and his parents expect me to house him and look after him because he was generous in letting me have the house without taking his rightful share of the equity. When we were married and he was undergoing treatment, it was new and expensive, and also very physically draining on him. We were lucky that both our jobs were supportive and flexible, but with his health issues, little kids, and expenses, we had to downgrade our lifestyle a lot. Additionally, the physical changes in his body made him very depressed. Whenever he felt a bit better, he would go stay in his hometown, a small town where most of his family and a lot of his childhood friends live. I was doing all of the caretaking of him while also dealing with insurance complications. I was managing the kids, the entire household, and my full-time job. We had help from friends and neighbors, but it was still very hard. I wasn't happy about him spending his healthy days away from us, but it was good for his mental health, so I didn't feel like I could object. While he was staying there, he reconnected with this high school girlfriend. A couple years ago, he admitted to me that he was hooking up with her, and I filed for divorce. He had fully recovered from his cancer by then. There are other aspects around the cheating that left me very heartbroken and betrayed. His giving me the house and taking all of the debt was an apology of sorts. His parents feel that I owe him for getting the house, and I should let him stay there for the 2 to 3 months his treatment is at the facility. I do want him to be well, and I don't want my kids to lose their loving father, but I can't deal with having him around me, especially not if I end up being his nurse and caretaker again. I'm still very bitter about how our marriage ended. A lot of people close to me are telling me that I should support him for the sake of my kids. Would I be the jerk if I said that I can't do that? Edit. They announced their engagement the day the divorce was finalized. That still hurts me so much. I am struggling with this. I don't think I hate him. A part of me still loves him as an old friend. I definitely wouldn't want my kids to suffer the devastation of losing their father. He loves them and is loved by them. When I look at it as an outside observer, I can understand what he was going through in falling in love with someone else. During the worst parts of his illness, I was frequently cleaning up after him. I pulled muscles and injured myself helping him move. He found that emasculating, so I can see how he'd find it appealing that someone still saw him as the old him when he was healthy and strong, while I became the nurse figure. So I tell myself that, and I don't hate him. Even without the cheating and whatnot, caretaking is a full-time job, and it's very taxing emotionally, mentally, and physically. You're not his wife anymore. You have no obligation to do this. OP. The last time I did it out of love. I just can't do it now. It was very difficult. The big upside to me in getting divorced was not having to deal with that anymore. As difficult as it is to take care of a sick person, dealing with the insurance bureaucracy and keeping track of all the medical contracts and treatment details is a pretty big logistical nightmare. Maybe for the sake of his kids, you could allow him to stay there, but he or his parents pay for a nurse or an aide to care for him. You are certainly not obligated to help him in any way, but your kids are old enough to know he's ill, and if you choose not to help him, it will likely adversely affect the relationship with your kids. If not now, later, especially if something happens to him. I fear they would blame you for not helping him by at least allowing him to stay there. OP. I hadn't started thinking on those terms yet, but yes, you're right. I have to measure how my kids will react to this. I haven't told them yet that he's sick again. They were very little back then, and they only knew that Dad was sick and got better. Now my oldest is big enough to understand cancer and what it means. My ex has been the fun Disney dad since we separated. They adore him. Update. The Sunday after I made my post, my ex-in-laws picked up the kids for a zoo trip. They sometimes come to pick them up to entertain them, so I thought nothing of it. A few hours later, a very teary and contrite mother-in-law dropped off 2 bawling kids with me. She told them their dad is sick, and he will pass if he doesn't stay with us and go to the hospital. We hadn't had a talk with the kids yet about the diagnosis, and she dropped it on them that he's passing from cancer. He's not even dying. It's a painful treatment, but he'll recover. I was so furious I was raging. I called my ex and I tore him a new one. He was shocked too, and together we exploded at his mom. She broke down and cried, begging me not to take away her grandkids, as if I'd trust her after this. My ex and I talked to the kids, him on video, and assured them that, yes, he is sick, but he'll be fine. He just needs to go to the hospital and they'll make him better like the last time he was sick. The kids settled after that, but my oldest has been crying and begging me to make Dad come live with us. I promised them I'd talk to Dad and figure out what the best thing to do is. I swallowed a lot of bile to talk to him about why he was doing this. We had a pretty long and detailed discussion. The bottom line is that he's broke. He still has a decent job, but his credit is ruined. He has a lot of debt, and he stupidly got the cheapest insurance that barely covers anything. His fiancée is no help either. She's worse off financially, so he needs a place to stay. He can't afford this otherwise. His parents are funding some of his medical payments and are already stretched. He was financially all right when we broke up, so I have no idea what happened in such a short time. Anyway, my ex and his girlfriend moved into my daughter's room. My daughter happily gave it to them, so now she's sharing her little brother's room. Both kids are over the moon happy to have their dad in their home. My daughter keeps checking on him every few minutes to make sure he's still okay. My mother-in-law really scared her. I'll never forgive that woman for this. I let the girlfriend move in with him because I was too angry to care about who was here looking after him as long as it wasn't me. I didn't know how I could bear having her in my home, but it appears to be more misery for her than me, and that strangely makes it more tolerable for me. She's teary-eyed and crying all the time. It's only been 3 days, but I am so annoyed I want to shake her and tell her to pull it together. The current treatment plan is for 3 months. I'm counting down the days. My ex's treatment is coming along nicely. The tumors that grew again are much smaller than before, and the new treatment they're giving him is much more targeted, so he's not having as many bad symptoms as he did last time. I had promised myself I would do nothing to help and stayed away from both my ex and his fiancée, but I ended up helping him deal with insurance. His fiancée has the personality of a wet noodle and cries all the time. It was easier for me to do it than deal with her struggling. My ex is polite enough to me, but his personality has changed. He's a different person and not very nice towards his fiancée. I didn't expect to, but I actually feel sorry for her. Update 2. My ex and his fiancée moved out today. His treatments went very well this time around. He had to deal with general weakness and nausea, but there was no throwing up or bathroom issues like before. It's amazing how much medicine improves and changes. He'll need monthly shots for a while, and I agreed to house him for a weekend next month, but after that, he's on his own. The stay went well. We had no real drama. I kept myself busy, and the kids and I traveled a lot. They both managed the rest of the stuff all right, and things worked out. My kids are happy and back to their normal routines. I had to talk with my daughter about how Grandma exaggerated things to get her way and that it's not okay. She understood and has shown no interest in visiting her grandparents, which I'm happy about. During the last week of his stay, his fiancée went back to their town to take care of some things since he was doing pretty well on his own. He and I had a few long, detailed conversations. They were cathartic in some ways and saddening and maddening in others. I think I got some closure at least. I'm not feeling this bitterness the way that I used to. I may make another post about what he told me, his reasoning, and justifications. On another note, all the dressing up and going out I've been doing has worked out for me. I met someone. We've been on 2 dates, and it's going great so far. This is my first time dating since the divorce, so I'm keeping my expectations muted, but it's still a very fun and exciting time. Update. Now that I feel happier, I can have a more grounded take on my ex's views. To start with, he was again very apologetic about what he put me through, and acknowledged that I deserved better from him. When he was undergoing cancer treatment while we were married, I was extra careful with his feelings and remained calm and patient. That became such a habit that even when he confessed to his affair, I continued to treat him with kid gloves. I was firm about wanting a divorce and refused to consider his insistence on working things out, but I swallowed my anger and didn't confront him aggressively. This time, though, I was able to properly express my hurt and anger, and it was incredibly cathartic. He handled it okay for the most part, but was stung and defensive. He detailed how he and his fiancée got back together. She was his high school girlfriend who came from a bad background. In high school, he had helped her and encouraged her to escape that situation. When he went to university and she stayed in their small town, their long-distance relationship dissolved. He wanted a bigger city life, and a few years after college, he met me. During his recovery, he reconnected with her. At that time, she was struggling to leave another bad relationship. It was similar to their high school days, with him being the rescuer. I suppose that can be very appealing to someone facing their own weakness and mortality. While he was home, I waited on him hand and foot. I didn't know he had enough energy to help another woman and was spending quite a bit to support her. That's where his current financial troubles came from. He was solving her problems. He's quite proud of how much he helped her and doesn't agree with me that he took something away from me by focusing his energy elsewhere. I don't want to say I don't support helping someone escape a bad relationship, but I can't help but feel exploited. He argued that spending time in his own town lessened the burden on me. It's true that when he was away, life got easier. I had more time, I could focus more on the kids, and we could cook and eat anything. But if he had that kind of energy, he could have helped me, right? He said that I was always stressed out and upset, and my attitude was a drain on him. I resent this because I remember how careful I was around him, how I made myself pliable to be his nurse. He brought up examples like the time I was so upset I went to the balcony to scream, or the time I snapped at the kids and then cried about it. He had stories of how I was pushy and difficult. He wasn't making everything up. I do have my faults, but I worked hard and tried my best. I didn't realize my support wasn't enough for him. I felt like I was just doing the hard work without making him feel good. I think he resents me because he feels he owes me. He likes his fiancée because she's dependent on him and owes him. Update. My boyfriend and I bought a new place together, and I've sold my old house. I'm relieved to leave that place behind. While I liked having a home, the emotional baggage from my ex-in-laws and the bad memories made it hard to stay. I'll miss my old neighborhood though. I had a lot of supportive friends there. My kids love the new place. It's bigger, with a larger yard and nicer schools. When we were clearing out the house, I asked my ex to pick up some of his things that were still left behind. He had a few boxes of pictures, kids' artwork, and some small items. I left them in the garage for him to collect. When he came to get them, he ended up crying over the memories. We didn't talk or interact. I just gave him water and left him alone to calm down. Honestly, I felt a surge of visceral rage at his crying. I thought I was over the past and happy with my current life, but in that moment, I realized I still hadn't fully moved on from what he had done. His relationship with his fiancée has ended, and I do feel a bit bad about that.
Oh, man.
They were supposed to be married in July, but it didn't happen. I heard from mutual friends that she has moved back in with her ex who mistreated her. They have kids together, and there was a lot of pressure from her family to reconcile. Her family mistreats her too, and they've always held it against my ex that he helped her when they first started dating. So now, after my ex helped her out of her financial crisis, she goes back to the person who put her in that situation. In a way, I feel angry on my ex's behalf. I hate him for my own reasons, but he did try to help his old friend and high school sweetheart, and she ultimately did him over. Am I the jerk for telling my sister that me not giving my kid a vintage name doesn't mean she can't? My sister, 33 female, and I, 29 female, are both expecting our first babies. She absolutely loves vintage names and has spent a decade talking to everyone about how much she wants to name her babies with those types of names. I know her top 3 choices for girls are Edith, Martha, and Audrey, and for boys, she likes Alan, Harold, and Stanley. I'm not sure which one she'll use for my future niece or nephew, but I know these are still her favorite options. My husband and I, on the other hand, are not into vintage or classic names. We've chosen the name Lyric, which is modern and not very common. My sister doesn't know the name yet, but she's aware of some we didn't choose. For example, we avoided names that could be difficult to spell or pronounce based on the spelling. She was upset that we didn't have any vintage names on our list. She made a lot of suggestions, and I thanked her, but explained that we're going for a different type of name. She asked why we didn't want the cousins' names to match in style, saying how cute it would be if both babies had old-fashioned names. She even had this idea for a photo shoot where the babies would be dressed like little grannies and grandpas, and she thought the vintage names would make it even more adorable. When she wouldn't take no for an answer, I stopped talking about it. She sent me lists of vintage names, articles about how vintage names are trending, and even Instagram and TikTok accounts of influencers with babies who have old-fashioned names. She would say things like, "Look how cute this name is. Doesn't it sound sweet for a little baby? Doesn't the vintage name add to the cuteness?" I didn't engage or buy into any of it. Now my sister is crying and saying that I'm ruining everything. She commented that she can't use a vintage name for her baby if I don't. I told her that just because we're not giving our daughter a vintage name, it doesn't mean that she can't use one for her baby. I pointed out that they're 2 separate people with different parents and they don't need a match. She cried, saying it wouldn't be the same and that my comment was dismissive. Am I the jerk? No, you're not the jerk, but your sister is extremely weird. Karen posted a rude TikTok of my mother, so I got her fired. May sound implausible, but setting, coffee shop in small town America. Most people know each other, so not really that out of the ordinary. There's a nice indie cafe a few blocks from my house, which I, 28 male, go to a couple of times weekly. Servers all know me. This month, I had my mom with me, her visiting the US for the first time. Mom spent all her life in a Southeast Asian country. Her English is not good, etc. Anyway, I go to work one day last week. Mom wanders over to the cafe. I get home that night, ask Mom how her trip to the cafe was. She says it's nice, told me what she got, and oh no, I forgot she doesn't know about tipping here. Where she lives, there's a large service charge included, so you don't really tip in eateries, and definitely not in small ones. Completely my bad, and entirely my fault for forgetting to inform her. I ask her which server. She describes someone I know as Jane, around 25, female. I go to the cafe the next day the minute it opens. I see Jane is working, and I apologize profusely. Explain that my mom doesn't know about tipping, and give her a 70% tip. Bill came up to around $10, so it really wasn't breaking the bank. She's understandably slightly cool, but I apologize to the best of my ability. I thought that was that. No, 2 days later,
Oh,
a colleague texts
gonna
me a
get
link to a
doxxed.
TikTok. Jane apparently has a sizable TikTok following where she talks about being a barista, her customers, how to make X or Y drink. Nice stuff. Except a video from the day my mom visited, where Jane videoed the back and side of her head, made jokes about people coming over from who knows where and not tipping because it's man-eat-dog world out there. Quietly barked on video. She didn't seem to notice it was at her. Lots of shares and likes and comments, by the way. Gave her the benefit of the doubt. Went over the next day and politely asked her to take it down. She said no, it's her right, and it was her degrading experience. Manager comes over. Jane tells the tipping part and that she made a video out of desperation and she wouldn't take it down. I tell manager that I came back, apologized, tipped her 70%, and explained my mom didn't know. I showed her the TikTok and manager's face changes. She doesn't discipline Jane in front of me, but from what I hear, she was let go immediately. Now her mother is posting on her own and my Facebook, as well as hinting on the community Facebook group about certain people not respecting servers and causing Jane to be fired. Several people, many who don't know the whole story, are agreeing with her, even discussing setting up a collection. Almost total belief that I am the jerk. No mention of TikTok. Am I the jerk? Should I have dragged my 70-year-old mom in to apologize to Jane? What exactly can I do now? Edit. Thank you so much to everyone who's commented and reassured me, and also for the awards. It's very kind of you, and I'm definitely feeling much better about Jane losing her job, as I realize it's not exactly my fault. I've reported the videos to TikTok, and so have some friends. Hopefully they'll take it down, but I have a screen recorded copy of it. I've also made the decision not to tell my mom the details of the argument per se, as she's leaving to see my brother in a few days anyway, and I don't want to upset her by telling her about Jane's horrible behavior, as it would just set her on edge. She's in her 70s and not online/English speaking, so wouldn't come across the TikTok anyway. Not the jerk. Tipping isn't mandatory, and it should have ended at that. Jane was not only unprofessional, she didn't have to make it personal either. Jane did the true and tired, messed around and found out. The firing is the result of her own actions. Won't fix the ramp, but give me the ability to close it? Okay then. A few years ago, I ended up working at a remote work site. The crew I worked with had multiple jobs, one of which was unloading the truck that came in once a week with all of the site's food. The unloading area was at the back of the kitchen and hadn't been designed well originally. It was an uneven gravel ramp, which led up to a roughly 4-foot loading dock. In an ideal world, the truck would be able to back up to the loading dock and the job would be reasonably easy. However, the ramp also wasn't very wide. There was a dog leg in the run up to it, and also the truck would be at an angle, so moving the pallets of food would be tough. So the workaround was to have a forklift take the food from the truck, drive up the gravel ramp, and drop the food on the dock. When I first got there, we had a forklift operator who had worked with a forklift for years. He was good, like really good. He made it seem easy. This wasn't my first job working around forklifts, and I really appreciated how good this guy was. I'm not sure how many others, especially management, realized that he made this short but tricky run in the forklift look way easier than it actually was. He left, and management scrambled to get another guy licensed to drive the forklift. This guy didn't have the experience, and he struggled. He lost a load off his forks at one point, and it was kinda scary. He was a yes man, and there weren't many other options, so he persevered. A lot of us were worried it was just a matter of time before he tipped the forklift over the edge of the ramp. The solution would have been to redesign the ramp, or at least pave it. The gravel was a large part of the problem. It was a little thick, so the tires would spin, a bit off kilter, and it would develop potholes. The forklift needed to get a run up to carry speed up this ramp. That's how bad it was.
Oh, that's funny.
We complained, but the company didn't want to do anything because they were building a new kitchen on the other side of the camp. So this one was going to be decommissioned. However, there had been zero work done on the new kitchen in the 3 to 4 months I'd been there. This remote site was in Australia, and they have some pretty strict health and safety laws there. Companies will often have you fill out cards every day of what we saw that was maybe dangerous. I filled out one for this ramp every single week we had to use it, but they didn't do anything. The system was really there to cover themselves, i.e., you knew it was dangerous, it says here on the card, so why did you keep doing the thing? while also expecting us to keep doing the thing. How else were we going to get the food inside? However, one of the other rules pretty much gave the right for any employer to tag out something that isn't safe. The company can't overrule this, as if they do, and then something happens, it's on them. These tags are normally used with machinery, i.e. the machine is broken, can't be used until it's fixed. The tag out system is not really designed for an area. Cue malicious compliance. The ramp is broken/dangerous. I decided I'm going to tag it out. I collected some cones and ropes and tagged it out. Went straight into the office to tell management what I did. Their faces were priceless. They had a week to come up with a solution, as I did this immediately after we had unloaded the weekly food drop. At first, they told us that from now on, we'd have to walk the boxes of food up to the storage areas. This was obviously an attempt to turn the other crew members on me. However, the cooks stopped that idea in its tracks. The weather was hot, the majority of the food was chilled or frozen. We were only so many. There would have been a lot of food waste. So after a day or so, they got to work putting in a paved path for the forklift. It was the bare minimum they would do, because they were building a new kitchen. But apparently it cost them $7,000 and pulled guys away from other duties to do it. Needless to say, I was not a popular person, and I heard that some of management wanted to fire me, but there was nothing they could do. I left 2 months later anyway. Am I the jerk for refusing to pay half of my boyfriend's mortgage? My boyfriend, 29 male, and I, 22 female, recently decided to move in together. We've been together for 1.5 years. I'm currently renting an apartment, and he has a house that he bought just before we started dating. Before moving in together, we thought it would be best to discuss finances. He's a doctor, and I'm a social media manager. He told me how much he makes, and it was more or less what I expected. When I told him how much I make, he kind of laughed and said I'm supposed to tell him how much I make per month, not per year. I told him, no, that's how much I make per month. His shock was understandable to me. I make 150% of his salary. I told him that it's just because I work for a client in a country where the currency is nearly 20 times stronger. If I had this same job in our country, I would only make a quarter of what he does. I don't live an extravagant lifestyle, so you wouldn't be able to tell that I make as much money as I do by just looking at me. I still live in a small apartment that I got when I was making less than 20% of what I make now, and I never learned how to drive. I know. So I don't have a car and get around exclusively by e-hailing services. Once the initial shock wore off, he said that's great, because now I can pay half of his mortgage. I was a little taken aback by that. I mean, it's not like I wasn't going to contribute to the household at all. I would have been happy to buy groceries, pay utilities, and cook and clean, because my workload is much lighter than his. I told him this, and that I wouldn't pay half of his mortgage. He retorted that since I make so much more than him, that the least I could do is just pay half the mortgage, and that we could go half on groceries and utilities. I told him that that's a little unfair, because if we break up, he gets a house, and I'm left with nothing, and that if that's going to be the case, I would rather stay in my apartment. I offered up a compromise. His house is sparsely decorated, to say the least. He has 2x1 seat couches, a table that's too big, and a TV that's too small. Oh, and a bed. He's never really there, so I get it. I told him that I would furnish the entire house and get the groceries, cook and clean, and we'd go half on utilities, but he still insisted that I pay half of the mortgage. He said that I still need a place to live, and that if I was going to be paying rent anyway, paying his mortgage would be the same thing. He said I'm being the jerk for not wanting to pay it. My boyfriend is a smart man, so I don't know if he doesn't see the logic, or lack thereof, in my opinion, of what he's saying, or if I'm being dumb and it's not a big deal. Am I the jerk for not wanting to pay half of my boyfriend's mortgage? Note, I would have been happy to pay half of his rent. It's not about the money, it's about the principle. Edit 1. I will come back to add more information when I have some time. But for now, I will say that half the mortgage he wants me to pay is 3 times my current rent. Not the jerk. Please continue to live on your own terms, but your own place, or pay rent. Your boyfriend isn't even interested in figuring out what your reasonable portion of rent would be. He just wants to cash in on your help. He sounds entitled. Not the jerk. The only way you pay half the mortgage is if you're on the actual mortgage. Most of the time, half the mortgage is going to be below half the market rate of renting an equivalent space, even with escrow for property taxes factored in. If she doesn't want to live with him, she shouldn't pay. But if she's planning to move in, half the mortgage is probably a fair rental amount. None of you even have a clue how mortgages work. When people say mortgage payment, they usually mean escrow. Property tax is hundreds plus every month, insurance, and then the mortgage payment, which early on pretty much only hits interest and not even the principal. So no, you don't just get the money back. You also lose 7% of the value paying both realtors when you sell. So you can actually sell a house and have to write a check. People can literally be too poor to sell their homes. I don't think a lot of these comments even understand the basic math behind renting or owning. The system we have currently is bad. That doesn't mean you should stiff your homeowning partner because you don't understand how mortgages work. And even if they do get some of that money back, who cares? You lived there, likely for much less than rent on your own. Entitlement and ignorance is off the charts with some of you. No, very much not the same. He will be getting the money back when he sells the house. Not the case with a lease. These posts always drive me nuts. Of course she should pay half the mortgage. It's rent. She shouldn't have to pay HOA fees, property tax, repairs, etc. I did this with my husband before we got married. It's fine. I don't expect to live for free. I paid rent to him. If you have roommates, they pay rent. The fact you're hooking up shouldn't change that. Yes, it made him my landlord, I guess. But if your dude isn't a jerk, he's not going to use that position to take advantage of you. If that's the case, you shouldn't be together anyway. Because he already owns the house, she has a lot less say in budget. A fair compromise would be him renting his house out and then them both finding a place they were happy with together. Please stop, Reddit boy. I can't take any more of these comments. Renting the house out and finding an apartment that they like? I just can't take this lack of logic. We're on Reddit, Karen. This ain't the place you want to go if you're looking for logic. My parents always expect my wife to babysit for them. Originally, my wife, who's 29, was I'm 29, little brother's babysitter. He's 8 years old now. This was a little over 6 years ago. My parents, who are 45 and 46, hired her and she accepted as a short-term gig so that she could make extra money to pay for her last college courses she needed to graduate. Me and her spent some time together when she was at my parents'. I fell hard for her, then a few months after she stopped working for them, we started going out. Accidentally got pregnant only a couple months later, but we made it work. Our son is 5, and my wife just had our second son 4 months ago.
It's pretty cool.
Every time we come over, I've noticed this. If my brother needs help with something, they ask her if she can do it. Like he says he's bored and wants to play. They ask her if she could play a board game with the kids while we stay in the kitchen talking. And I've told them, that's ridiculous. We're both here to visit. The past few months, my parents called to ask if maybe she could come over and watch my brother for a few hours. A couple times every so often isn't the issue, because I get it. Every parent needs a break, and we don't mind my little brother coming to hang out with us and his nephew. The issue is, they call her regularly, even after we have another kid ourselves that we're busy taking care of. My wife is more tired of it now that we are both exhausted taking care of our 4-month-old. And this isn't anything new, because I've talked to them about it. They say it's a habit when they got so used to her being their go-to sitter, even though she stopped working as a sitter years ago. We went over to their house recently so they could spend time with both their grandkids. They haven't met our youngest yet, so it was meant to be a nice get-together. But, surprise, they said they needed to leave in an hour for an appointment and asked if we could stay to watch my brother. I told them we had things to do after this, and they go, "Well, Michelle can stay and watch him then." My wife was annoyed. I was annoyed. She took the kids to the car, and I told them to stop expecting her to be their babysitter when there are thousands of other people they can hire, and they really ticked us off, thinking we were all gonna hang out so they could spend time with their grandsons. They were more focused on the fact that we weren't staying to help them with my brother because they really needed to go. Last thing I told them was, we are done visiting until they can stop acting like my wife is their babysitter. You can imagine how ticked off they are. It's hard because they're my parents, and right now they think I'm a jerk for withholding them from their grandkids just because they asked for a favor. I'm really done with all this, to be honest, but I don't know if they're right. Am I the jerk? Not the jerk. You are laying down a boundary, and good for you. It's hard sometimes, but definitely clapping for you, and so glad you're sticking up for your wife. Especially when OP's wife has 2 kids of her own to take care of full time, one just a few months old. She's worn out from her own duties. Put it to them this way. If you stopped working at a movie theater, Wouldn't it be weird for your boss to call you up and ask you to come clean the place? If you retired from construction, wouldn't it be weird for someone to hand you a yellow vest and point you towards some cement? Do they call people they used to work with? What about old doctors no longer in practice? No? There you go. They just don't respect her or you. Not the jerk. Table stayed 1.5 hours past closing and tipped 10%. I work at a casual upscale sushi restaurant, and we close at 11 p.m. on Saturdays. Two Top comes in at 7:30 p.m., saying they were waiting for 2 more. They waited an hour for the other 2, and right after they sat down, the original 2 asked what time we closed, to which I replied 11. All's fine and well. They ordered a lot of food and drinks. Turned out to be some kind of business merger. 11 p.m. comes around, and they're still talking. Half the food is not touched. 11:15 comes around, and I asked if they needed any to-go boxes, as the food was still untouched, to which they replied, "Oh no, we'll be finishing it." 11:30 p.m. comes around, and I place the check on the table. Hilariously, everyone simultaneously put a bite of food in their mouth, even though I had been watching them like a hawk and knew they hadn't touched their food since 11. They were my last table, and all my side work was done. 11:45 p.m. comes around, and I asked if the check was ready, knowing darn well it wasn't, because I hadn't seen anyone touch the checkbook. They proceed to fight over the check, and the 2 that arrived an hour late gave me their card. I process their payment and return it to them. 12 a.m. comes around, and I return, gently reminding them that we closed at 11 p.m. and that they are the last guests in the restaurant. The dishwashers were gone, so I knew I was going to have to wash all the dishes that were still on their table. They acted like they were surprised and said they'll be out of my hair soon. 12:15 a.m. comes around, and I just bring them a bunch of to-go boxes and bags, because forget it, I want to leave. 12:17 a.m. comes around, and my manager decided to step in. He told them that all the remaining staff were waiting for them to leave, and that if they enjoyed our restaurant, to return during normal business hours. They acted surprised again and stood up, gathering their coats and stuff. I bust their table and wash all their dishes. 12:30 comes around. I finish their dishes, and they're still talking while standing up around the table. Seriously, can't you do that outside? I start sweeping super close to them, and then they leave. Their bill was $588, and they left me $50. Edit. I get paid $1 above minimum wage and make about $200 to $400 a night, so I'm very comfortable here and don't mind doing extra work. The dishwashers leave at a certain time. I'm pretty close with them, and I wasn't doing anything except waiting for the guests to leave, which is why I did the dishes. Also, I generally don't mind guests overstaying because I have always been tipped very well. But this table stayed from 7:30 to 12:30 and tipped me 10%. So that's why I'm big mad. It's a huge failure on your manager's part to allow this to happen. I'm sorry you work for such an ineffective manager. OP. Honestly, because we're slightly upscale, we tend to get a lot of people that overstay their welcome for some reason. Once we had multiple parties stay 2 hours past closing. This one was just particularly bad because they were the last ones in the restaurant, like since 11:10 p.m., so everyone was just waiting for them. Am I the jerk for taking my oldest kid to my sister's child-free wedding? I'm still shocked this whole thing happened, but I want to hear some outside perspectives, so here I am. I have 4 kids, who are 11, 14, 16, and 19. A while ago, we all received an invitation for my sister's wedding. That's me, my husband, and all 4 of my kids. Her wedding was in a different country, but it was at a good time, so we could all go. We booked everything, and we're all ready to go. We got there a bit of time before the wedding, quite literally a few days before the wedding. I was informed it was going to be a child-free wedding. Look, I have no issue with child-free weddings, but I was a bit frustrated. I mean, if I had known it was going to be a child-free wedding, then arrangements could have been made so that we all didn't have to travel. We were all invited, so I was just annoyed that things were switched up. But I can also understand that weddings can be stressful and sometimes things are going to change. I spent quite a bit of time trying to find a place for my 3 youngest to stay during the wedding, but I sorted it all out eventually. Okay, it was wedding day. No more changes had been made, everything was good. We were on our way when I get a message that my sister was excited to see you too. I was a bit confused because, of course, 3 of us were going. I just decided it was probably an error and didn't worry. We got there, and my sister seemed very surprised to see my oldest. And not a nice surprise either. A pretty condescending surprise. But again, it's her wedding day. She's probably nervous. I'll let it go. During the wedding, I couldn't help but feel she was ignoring us. I don't know. If none of this ever happened, I wouldn't even care because, again, it's her wedding, and she doesn't have to pay equal attention to everyone. But with everything else, it just felt weird. After the wedding, she sent me a message that it was nice to see me there, but she would have appreciated it if I had respected the child-free part. I replied saying I was so happy for her and enjoyed every second of the wedding, and I thought I had respected it, but if there was a miscommunication, I was very sorry. She told me that there was no miscommunication, that I had disrespected her and I should apologize. I basically reiterated what I had already said and didn't apologize. Am I the jerk? Edit. For those wondering about the invitation RSVP, the invitation said, bride and groom would like to invite all 6 of our names, and we were all asked to RSVP by email, which I did. I had also seen my sister between this and the wedding, and it was clear she knew we were all planning to attend. And yes, this is about my 19-year-old. I use the definition of kid as son or daughter, not as under 18. Sorry for the confusion. Not the jerk. So the wedding wasn't initially child-free, and they just decided that it was a couple of days before the wedding, after you had traveled with all your kids, when she had initially invited everyone? That's messed up. Your sister needed to communicate that it was child-free well in advance if that's what she wanted. That's not the kind of thing you spring on your guests last minute. Also, a 19-year-old isn't a kid, so you didn't take a child to a child-free wedding. Honestly, I don't know what your sister was thinking. This whole affair sounds like a mess. Am I the jerk for not snowblowing the new neighbor's driveway? Our old neighbor, Mr. B, passed last year. He was a very sweet old man, kind of like the neighborhood grandpa. He was a widower, and the last couple years started having mobility issues. When it snowed, we would go over with a snowblower and clear his driveway and salt the walk. In the summer, if I was out mowing, I would do his lawn too. When his health went downhill, we got his groceries and would bring him meals. When he passed, we continued to mow the lawn and take care of the outside of the house when it was vacant. His kids were very appreciative and thanked us for taking care of Mr. B when they could not be there. They eventually sold the house, and the new neighbors moved into the house in the fall. We introduced ourselves and did the standard neighbor greeting. We noticed they didn't have any lawnmowers or snowblower, so we told them that they should get those things sooner rather than later, since we typically start getting snow in November. A few times when I was out mowing, the neighbor asked me to mow their lawn, and I obliged, but I told them that they should really consider getting their own yard tools or calling a service. We just had a huge snowfall and are expected to get more this weekend. The neighbor came to my house early on Sunday morning and banged on my door, asking when I was going to be out snowblowing, as they needed to get to work. I told the neighbors that I was not going out to shovel or snowblow anytime soon, so they may want to dig their cars out so they could get to work. He told me that they didn't have any shovels and explained that they were relying on me to come over and take care of it. I told him that I was not planning on doing that. Told him that he could borrow a shovel if he would like, but I was going back to bed. When I did go out to shovel and snowblow several hours later, I did not do their driveway. The neighbors are now angry at me, and he confronted me outside, saying that it's my fault that they had to call out of work. My wife thinks I should have sucked it up and went over, but I told her that I am not a landscaping service and that I should not have to wake up early and shovel their driveway. Am I the jerk for not snowblowing for the neighbors? Not the jerk. We have a similar situation, but we are the new neighbors. We bought from an elderly couple, and the guy next door is about my dad's age and retired early, and he's constantly outside doing yard work, etc. He had been taking care of the yard, snow, etc. for the previous owners for some time. When we bought the house, we couldn't move in right away, and the yard got long. And one day when we saw him, he offered to mow our lawn when he did his on his ride-on mower. We asked if we could pay him. He insisted we do not. All was fine. But as soon as we were able to move in, my husband started mowing the lawn. We gave the neighbor and his wife a small gift to thank them for being so welcoming, and we've maintained a super friendly relationship. It snowed last week, and my husband was still at work when the neighbor was clearing his property, and I looked out the window and saw that he noticed my daughter and I were home alone, and he did my sidewalk for me, which was super nice, but we had never expected. These people sound crazy entitled. It's like they were sold the house thinking it came with a neighborhood lawn service. Am I the jerk for telling my younger brother he needs to find somewhere else to live? My little brother, who's 16, has been living with me for a little over a year now. Our parents kicked him out due to their strong beliefs, and I couldn't not take him in. He's my baby brother. My partner set a few ground rules when he moved in. No parties. His rent would be our weekly grocery bill, and if he could look after our 2 kids, who are 6 and 10, while we're both working late, that would be amazing. And there would be no guests in our home. He agreed to all of these conditions and was holding up to them very well until recently. My brother recently got a new boyfriend, who we have met a couple of times, and he seems really sweet, but we don't know him really well yet. Anyway, my partner and I were working late the other night, and he called me to find out if his boyfriend could come around, and I told him I'd rather he didn't be around my kids while we were not there. He seemed fine with it, and I thought nothing of it. However, when I got home, there was his boyfriend, sitting on the couch with him. I didn't disturb them because his boyfriend seemed emotionally distressed. He was crying, and when he left, I asked my brother what happened. Apparently, his boyfriend just found out his parents are divorcing. I told him I was sorry for his boyfriend, but I asked him not to have him around my kids until we were home. And just because they were asleep doesn't change the fact, because anything could have happened. We got into a bit of an argument with him defending himself, and I ended up telling him that I felt extremely disrespected and worried for my kids because he wasn't sticking to our agreement, and I have no idea how many times he's had people in the house without permission. I told him, unfortunately, he's going to need to find another place to stay. I have kids to look after, and they come first. We don't take much rent off him, so he's got $15,000 in his bank account. He's not running a risk of being homeless. I told him he had until the end of March to find a place, and until he does his regular duties stand. He started crying and apologizing and asking if he could stay, so I told him I wasn't disowning him like our parents did. He just can't live here anymore. My husband says I was a complete jerk and I need to tell him he's allowed to stay. He said he called first, so he's most likely never had anyone else over without permission, and he'd be a pretty bad boyfriend if he wasn't there as support. I feel like I may be the jerk, because my husband is usually tight on the rules, and even he's willing to bend them for this. So, am I the jerk? Am I the jerk for telling my stepmom she needed to move out in a few months? My dad married my stepmom 7 years ago. She's not a bad woman, and she's not a gold digger either. She and my dad are legitimately in love. However, my dad doesn't have much time left due to medical issues. He likely won't make it till summer. My dad and I weren't close. He was military, and if he wasn't gone, he was in a crappy mood. My mom was in the picture, but she wasn't a saint either, so I was raised by my grandparents in their home. Neither of my parents could tell you my birthday 3 years ago to give you an idea of it. I don't hate either of my parents, but I don't really recognize them as my parents either. My dad has been a much better dad to my stepmom's son, which is good, and I'm grateful for that. However, I don't feel a bond with my stepbrother or stepmom either. When my grandma passed, she left me her home and her will, as that was what my grandparents wanted. My dad and his wife moved in with my permission while I was away at school. It was no secret that I intended to move back and live alone in my home, which has caused some conflicts in the past. This past weekend, while I was studying, stepmom sent me an email filling me in on dad again, telling me about her layoff and asking what my plans were after this last semester. So I told her I was returning home and had a job lined up with an old friend. Stepmom asked if I felt it would be crowded there, and I reminded her that it was my home, so if anyone was uncomfortable, they would need to relocate. Stepmom pushed back a little, and I reminded her again the home was mine, and that they needed to be ready to leave by summer's end, as this is my last semester, and I wanted to give them plenty of time to relocate. My dad ended up calling me later and tried to guilt me. However, I reminded him that he didn't really raise me, and I was under no obligation to help them as much as I already had. I called his wife after and told her that after my dad passed, she was gone for what she had just tried to do. The summer deal was off, and I would evict after 60 days, which is still more than required. I told her my dad chose a military career over his son, and when he wasn't lacing his boots, he was yelling at me or throwing stuff. Stepmom brought her child's education into it because they couldn't afford to live in a good school district when this was over. But I told her neither he or she was my concern. I told my friends about this, and they all thought I was right because of what I've already done for them and what my dad did in the past. They have said the stepmother is just another person in the world, and it sucks for her, but you can't set yourself on fire to keep them warm. What do you guys think? Am I the jerk? Fiance
Oh my
makes me leave the
God.
house so she can hang out with her ex.
That's
So,
funny.
super weird situation, and I needed judgment. I, 32 male, have been engaged to Amanda, 34 female, for about a year. We dated for 3. She has a 12-year-old daughter named Alexis. Me and Alexis have a good relationship. Me, Amanda, and her ex all have a good relationship for the most part. I'm totally comfortable with my role. So Amanda, her ex, and Alexis have this weird thing they do. They all get together on Sundays and hang out, the 3 of them. I guess it started as a family tradition, and then once they divorced, they kept it going. They make breakfast, watch movies, and just hang around all day together. I find it really weird, to be honest. Like, I'm not insecure about it, but why you would want to spend a day a week with your ex is beyond me. I said how weird I found this when we started dating, but Amanda said that Alexis looks forward to it weekly, so she never stopped it. So at first, I would just hang in our room or the basement all Sunday, but I got tired of being trapped in my own house, so I started leaving the whole day. Amanda would never ask where I was going or anything, wouldn't even notice I was gone. So at first, I was golfing or getting errands done, or would find a bar. But then I reconnected with my old friend, Bella. Bella and me dated 5 years ago and have remained good friends since. She just broke up with her husband and moved into a new apartment. I told her one Sunday that I was just planning on going to the movies, and she instead invited me over. We smoked together, watched some movies, cooked, and just hung out. It was nice, and ever since it's become my weekly tradition. Whenever Sunday would come, I'd head over to Bella's and we'd just hang out all day. I didn't see the need to bring up to Amanda where I was going. She never asked or even wondered where I was every Sunday. So yesterday, Bella stopped by our house to drop off my phone charger because I left it at her place. Amanda asked why Bella had my phone charger, and I told her that it's where I was on Sunday. She asked why I was there, and I told her that was my Sunday hangout spot. She flipped out, saying how rude it was to not let her know I was hanging out with an ex. I laughed and said, "Do you really not see the irony with that statement?" She said it's different because she was forthcoming about her and her ex's relationship, and that if I had an issue with it, then I should have said so. I said I did already bring it up, and that she said it was important to her daughter. Was I supposed to interfere with the highlight of her daughter's week in order to make myself feel better? No, I'll just sneak out the back door and head to my friend's house, and that I didn't see why this was even an issue at all. We trust each other and are adults. Amanda doesn't want me over there anymore and said she wants me to find another way to spend my Sundays. I said, then I don't want your ex over here on Sundays anymore if that's how we're playing this. Am I the jerk? You had us in the first half, but man, so many red flags in the second half. 100% you're the jerk. Hanging with an ex and keeping it a secret? That alone makes you the jerk. While I totally agree with your judgment that OP is the jerk and obviously does have insecurity issues, even if he specifically says he doesn't, I can't help but ask myself why the girlfriend did never even bother to ask if he had a good day, too, or what he was doing all day. If I spent a day without my significant other, I always ask how their day was, etc., just because I care and I'm interested in my partner. And as their relationship seems to be good, why was he never asked to join them every now and then if they consider him part of the family too? I know it's a tradition, but this way, he will always be an outsider. I think OP mentions that she never directly asked him what he was doing, which is kind of a weird way to put it, and that she complained about her ex afterwards a few times, so at least it seems like she was talking about her day. If he originally was running errands or just hanging out with male buddies, I can see why the fiancé wouldn't question it. The difference is that the fiancé is hanging out with her ex in the company of their daughter. OP is hanging out with his ex solo. Edit. And OP knew about his fiancé's situation from the beginning. The tradition predates their entire relationship. There was an understanding from the beginning. OP's behavior is not only a secret, but it's new. There was no discussion or agreement. The difference is also that the fiancé wants to marry the man, allegedly, while excluding him from what she calls a family tradition. Sorry, that family doesn't exist in that form anymore. What, should OP be excluded from all the major holidays? Or am I being too much, and really one full day every week is clearly the appropriate amount of time to exercise a family tradition without your fiancé? How people think that's normal is wild to me. The daughter should of course have quality time with her dad, but is there a legit reason why if mom is present, her fiancé should be excluded? They're pretending once a week that he doesn't exist, and mommy and daddy are back together. Is that healthy for the kid? Cause I tell you this, not healthy for the new family, and I don't even know if it's healthy for the kid who may simply see OP as the placeholder while mommy and daddy figure it out. This is totally revenge on his part too. Like, he can't understand why his girlfriend is trying to be a good co-parent with someone they have a kid with, but finds it completely normal and healthy to go spend time with his ex he has absolutely no connection to, aside from the fact they used to date. And every Sunday? You're the jerk, OP. Mega time. Edit. I don't think you can really call yourself an adult when you're taking petty revenge shots like this towards someone who's supposed to be your partner. Just break up already. Holy cow. There's definitely a petty revenge feel to this. Oh yeah? If you're spending a whole day with your ex, then I will too. That's a childish reaction, as is not telling his fiancée and then pretending that his actions are equivalent to hers. Both of these things definitely make OP the jerk. That said, I'm also a step-parent. I have a good relationship with my stepkid and my husband and his ex-co-parent amicably, which is good for all of us. But if they had a tradition, from which I was excluded, of spending an entire day each week, every week, all together at our house, during which time I had to make myself scarce, that would be odd. I could see how this tradition started as a way to help the daughter through the breakup, but continuing it as a weekly thing for years while not recognizing the absence of current partners isn't really healthy. Of course, the way to handle that would have been through better communication, not passive-aggressive pettiness. So I don't fault OP for feeling hurt by an odd situation, but yeah, 0 for 10, do not recommend for the way he handled it. Well, who do you think is the jerk? OP or his fiancée? Please let us know. Hey Reddit boy, what if I told you to go to the basement so my ex can come over and we can hang out upstairs? What ex? Nobody ever wanted you, Karen, you know that. Stop it! You know I'm sensitive about that! Am I the jerk for pressing charges on a former friend for shaving my head? For context, a relative of what used to be a close friend of mine, whom we'll call Gary for this story, contracted cancer. I, mid-20s male, was sympathetic and even contributed $100 to a donation pool for their treatment. But Gary came to me one day and took his hat off to reveal a freshly shaven head. He told me that everyone in his family was doing this in support of his relative, and so were a lot of our mutual friends. Then he asked that I get on the bandwagon. I told him I didn't want to shave my head because I like my hair. My hair is black, regularly combed, and well styled. He said I could just get a wig or something, and had actually brought his shaver kit. He was unboxing it when I told him that this was not happening. I don't even really know his relative that he's doing this for, so I'm not doing it. End of discussion. He called me a jerk and left angry. We didn't speak for a week. Then last Saturday, I got invited to a party at another close friend's house. There, I found out that Gary had tried the same thing on several other friends, and only a couple of them actually did shave their heads. Gary wasn't at the party, so I had a blast hanging out, playing video games and listening to rock music. But I had way too much to drink and couldn't drive home, so they said I could just sleep upstairs. I passed out on a bed, and it was a blissful sleep till I was shaken awake by another friend who told me Gary had showed up late, and they caught him shaving my head while I was passed out. I saw what I looked like in a mirror and wanted to scream like I was in a horror movie. Gary even shaved one of my eyebrows. Gary was still there and acting proud of himself, saying, "Now you're gonna have to shave off the rest, just like me." I was furious and called the cops. When they got there, Gary fully admitted to what he had done to me and even said he was justified. The police didn't seem to think so, as this is classified as a form of assault. They asked me if I wanted to press charges, and I said yes. Gary lost it on me while they took him away in cuffs. I tried getting my hair restyled into something presentable, but there was no saving it, and now I'm bald too. Now a bunch of Gary's family are telling me to drop the charges because Gary was off his meds and didn't mean to do it. I was like, what? Because I never knew he was on meds. But I still refuse to drop the charges. It'll take months to grow my hair back the way it was. But all of the calls and messages from Gary's relatives are starting to get to me. Just about everyone else in our friend group has gut Gary out though, and say that I'm doing the right thing by not dropping the charges. So now I'm divided. Am I the jerk for pressing charges on a former friend for shaving my head in my sleep? Edit. I want to make something clear here. So many people have said things like, "Dude, it's just hair." But would they all be saying that if I wasn't a man? What if I was a girl that had had her hair that took years to grow? Would they be saying the same thing? Sure, hair grows back, but it takes time. If it was something that grew back fast, people would be less inclined to care. But it's not fast. It takes months. And for someone who had long hair, years. That's a lot of time wasted growing. And I don't plan on pushing for Gary to go to prison, but I don't plan to drop the charges either. His family already bailed him out, and while I didn't know he was on meds, I knew he had quite the temper and even an entitled attitude at times. One example being a lunch where he wanted us all to combine the check and split it evenly. He got the most expensive thing on the menu. I got a cheeseburger. When we all said no, Gary went off on us for not being good friends. He's always been a jerk when he doesn't get his way, and I've only known him for like 3 years. This incident was the last straw, not just for me, but for a lot of other mutual friends. As for the charges, I don't want Gary to go to prison, but I would like him to get some therapy and community service. With the way Gary has acted around me in the past and what he did to me, I actually wonder how long before he got more violent. I've seen and heard of him getting in fights for less. Not the jerk. Contact the DA that is handling this case and let him know that his family is pressuring you to drop the charges. They may be violating the law too. If Gary hasn't learned to take his meds, a little time in jail will teach him that lesson. Edit. I didn't mean to suggest jail will help him. I believe facing negative consequences for his actions versus getting out of them will help him. OP. That's a very good idea. I'll take care of that as soon as I can. Make copies of all the texts. Save the voicemails. Don't block them. Let them spew, as all this info should go to the police. And yeah, not the jerk. Gary is an adult. He knows what'll happen if he goes off his meds. He did it anyway. Sounds like his family might be doing a wee bit of enabling there. No means no. If he hasn't figured it out by now, the authorities need to teach him. Not the jerk. Tell the family you're gonna report them for harassment if they keep this up, and then follow through. Well, who do you think is the jerk? OP or Gary? Please let us know. I don't blame you for pressing charges. I probably would have just beat him up, but hey, that's just me. No one can fire my boss, so she does it herself. This isn't my story, but I was able to witness it all in its glory because I used to work for one of the people involved. Years ago, I used to work at a state government agency where my boss was a political appointee. Her mom was a big wig in our governor's party who wrangled a political appointment for her daughter, which meant she had some clout behind her. Let's call her Shannon. Shannon was not good at her job at all. She was frequently out of the office for meetings, 2-hour lunches, coffee with friends, a bit of shopping. She was also a bully and a tyrant. She bullied her staff and would hold the threat of firing over everyone's heads to get them to do what she wanted. She wasn't a micromanager because she was never around enough to actually micromanage anything. And she was widely disliked throughout the entire building. This was a large agency, so to have a building where almost everyone disliked you took a lot of work. The problem is that, as a political appointee, she was untouchable. The people who had the power to fire her couldn't because of her family. Even the number 3 person in the agency couldn't do it, and he was a political appointee as well. But after a year of mystery meetings and time out of the office, her excuses were catching up to her. The agency director removed her from her job and put her in charge of special projects. Anyone who's worked in a corporate job knows that people get put in charge of special projects because they were largely incapable of doing their previous jobs. They didn't get fired, but they no longer had any power. This was Shannon's case. For a while, she seemed to get the message. She shaped up, didn't have any more mystery meetings, didn't disappear from the building for 2 hours, and treated people somewhat nicely. Of course, it didn't last, and Shannon returned to her old ways. Around that time, we got a new assistant director. We'll call her Trisha, who was also a political appointee. She was the number 2 person in the whole agency, and she was great to work for. She was very serious about her job. She had access to Shannon's electronic calendar and saw what Shannon had been up to. She then cross-checked the security logs to see when Shannon was in and out of the building. After her brief investigation, Trisha emailed Shannon with a list of dates and said, "Can you tell me more about these different meetings you were having and why they took you so long?" I'm paraphrasing. Well, Shannon wasn't having any of that. How dare Trisha call her character into question? This was an outrage. It was so outrageous, in fact, that Shannon wrote a resignation letter and slammed it down on Trisha's desk. That'll show her. After a few hours, Shannon had time to think about what she had done. She remembered that she had a 1-year-old at home. She also remembered that her husband was an unskilled truck driver who made $8 an hour. Edit. He was a local delivery driver for a construction firm, not a CDL driver. And she remembered that she was the primary breadwinner for her family. She went back, hat in hand, and apologized for her attitude. She said she was willing to try harder, and then asked Trisha if she could please possibly have her letter back. Pretty please? Trisha said, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're too late. I already processed the letter and sent it off to HR. I'm afraid I can't undo that. Do you remember in the movie The Incredibles when Mr. Incredible fought the giant ball with legs? The ball was so indestructible and powerful, the only thing that could beat it was itself? This was that moment. The previously untouchable political appointee had just been fired by the only political appointee who had that power, herself. And rather than protect her or do her a solid, Trisha would not undo her self-termination. She just let Shannon be her own undoing. When news of Shannon's self-firing raced through the building, you could hear the cries of, "What? Are you serious?" followed by howls of laughter as each new person heard the story. Shannon was out, and everyone who had to deal with her was much happier than they had ever been in that job. Am I the jerk for not wanting to co-own a house with my husband? Here's the background. I'm female 30, and my husband is male 35. He comes from a wealthy family, and he works for the family business. When we met 7.5 years ago, I was a fresh college graduate working a minimum wage job and neck deep in student loans. We got married very fast, 8 months after meeting, and I had met his parents, all of 3 times. His parents insisted that I sign a prenup, and I understand them completely. If my kid was in the same situation, I would have made the same decision. This prenup pretty much says that in the event of a divorce, I get nothing. Unless he cheats, then I get alimony. Also, finances, debts, properties, and savings are completely separate unless both our names are on the asset. I asked to amend it so that he gets nothing too, and they all agreed that it was fair. The house we live in is owned by his parents, and the car he drives is a company car. We have a joint account for monthly expenses, groceries, utilities, landscaping, etc., that we put in equal amounts. Over the last 7 years, I've been able to get a good job, pay off all my loans, not having to pay for housing is a huge bonus, and I saved about 35% for a down payment on a house and a substantial emergency fund. On the other hand, I know that my husband has credit card debts since he is of the mindset, buy it now and pay it off later. He has no asset to his name except for a 401k, no savings at all. Even though my in-laws are great and they consider this house as ours and not theirs, I want something to my name. I want to have a house that is my own to change how I want and to be proud of. Over the years, my husband won't even contemplate the idea of buying a house. I started looking and finally found the house of my dreams, and suddenly my husband did a 180 and wants to co-own the house with me. His idea is that I put the down payment, pay another 15%, and he pays for the other 50%. That way we are equal owners. I do not want to do that. I know my husband, and he will not be able to pay his part of the mortgage. Sometimes his share of the monthly expenses is transferred by his parents, as well as them always paying off some of his debts. Now he won't even talk to me. Says if I don't agree to co-owning with him, then he won't move in with me at all. That it shows that I don't trust him. So what are your advices on this whole mess? Absolutely talk to an attorney. I would be concerned that the house could be considered a marital asset even if it's only in your name, since it will have been purchased while you're married. Not the jerk. OP. I already did. The prenup was detailed enough that nothing without both our names on the title is considered the property of the sole owner. Dream houses within your budget don't come along very often. In your shoes, I would put an offer on it. OP, especially in this market, it took me almost a year to find something I like and within budget. But are you prepared to get divorced over it? Considering the only thing she said about her husband is that he's financially irresponsible, selfish, and gets tons of extra financial support that primarily benefits him, my guess is probably. Not even a, things with my husband are great, except one thing. It sounds like the house is just the catalyst, so OP doesn't have to actually end the relationship herself. Am I the jerk for refusing to pay my brother his money back? About 10 years ago, my brother, Seth, gave me $12,000. I had a very bad gambling problem and took money out of my other brother, Carter's, shop, about $10,000. I gambled all the money away. So right after that, I called Seth and begged him to help me. Seth took a loan for $12,000 so I could pay Carter back, and Seth gave me the $2,000 extra and to start therapy to fix my gambling problem. He was really chill about the money until he began to plan his wedding. All of a sudden, my mother started to pressure me to pay him back ASAP because he was getting married and needed the money. My brother didn't ask. Then lockdown hit and his work hours got cut back. He began to ask me to pay him back slowly and that he knew lockdown hit everyone hard, but that he needed the money back. I paid him back $2,000, but then I had to get myself a new car because my wife had a promotion and started to work in another part of the city and needed our car to get to work. 1 year after lockdown, they moved to another apartment, and then he
No, I
began to
can't
pressure
write.
me
Can't
that I
use
need to
that
pay
right.
him back
I'll just
ASAP.
do one of these.
I wanted to pay him back, but my wife surprised me with a vacation for my birthday. Then I had to buy another car because my first car broke down. Seth confronted me about the car, and I told him that my father-in-law paid for it. Seth's wife organized a small surprise barbecue for him and invited us too. After the barbecue, we told my brother about the vacation for my birthday, and Seth and his wife started acting weird after that. They were avoiding eye contact, and when we left, they were cold. I thought that was very rude. After the barbecue, his wife texts me about how she wishes us a nice vacation and how she wonders if they have to sue us for the money. She goes on about how my brother works 3 jobs. So first of all, my job is very hard too, and how dare she suggest to sue me? I mean, who is she? And I helped my brother out many times. When we were on vacation, his wife drove my car because car driving causes her panic attacks, so she wanted to try driving a small car. I never asked them for gas money then, and my brother drove my car a few times too. I bought him an Apple TV as a birthday present, and I helped him move. I called him right after she texted me, and I told him that if his money is tight, he shouldn't have moved during the middle of a lockdown, and that he shouldn't have bought a $700 TV. Then he starts telling me that he gave me $12,000 and only asks back for $10,000, and he doesn't even add the interest he paid the bank into that. Frankly, I didn't ask him to give me $12,000. He got really upset, and now he isn't talking to me. Neither is his wife. My mom urges me to apologize, but I just don't see the point. Helping is mutual, and I don't really appreciate them urging me like that and acting like I never helped them. And I'm really mad at his wife for getting between us. Am I the jerk? You're the jerk. Convert your help to money and pay back the rest. You can take a loan just like your brother did, Mr. Leach. You're the jerk. You can't really believe that letting your sister-in-law test drive your car without giving you gas money or helping them move means you don't have any moral obligation to pay back ASAP the $12,000 plus interest your brother was stuck with? How can you go on vacation or buy 2 new cars when you owe this debt? Why did your wife buy such an expensive car? Because if she knows about this loan, she's just as morally bankrupt as you. Stealing from both of your brothers must give you the same adrenaline rush as when you won a bet. Just don't expect anyone to lift a finger to help you in the future. You're the jerk. Just pay the money back. And yeah, it looks crappy when you are splurging on nice things to have when people are begging you for the money you owe them because they have legitimate needs. And because you don't seem to understand, lending a car does not equal $12,000, and a $700 TV does not equal $12,000. Kick me out of class because rules state that I must be clean-shaven? Guess I'll have to comply. Many years ago, I attended and graduated from a culinary institute.
Okay.
The program was for professional cooking. It was a lot more than just learning to cook, though. It also had classes about menu planning and creation, restaurant management, finance and cost analysis, etc. It was more of a program to teach you how to be a chef and run a restaurant. But because it was a professional program, there were some very strict policies. When attending classes outside of the kitchen, there was a uniform to wear. When classes were in the kitchen, there was another: hat, jacket, apron, pants, and non-slip shoes. While in the kitchen, no jewelry or piercings could be worn. No nail polish either. Men had to be clean-shaven, no beards or mustaches. Even stubble was not allowed, and hair kept tidy. I saw a guy use a kitchen knife to cut off his dreads when they stuck out of his chef's hat. One policy was time and attendance. Classes started at a specific time, not a minute later. When the start time came, the chef would close and lock the door. There was no leniency. There was also no valid reason to be late. Public transit late due to a snowstorm? Not valid. What really made this worse was that to graduate, you needed to have a certain number of hours in the kitchen. If you were a minute late and were not allowed into class that day, you would then be missing those 5 hours and would have no way to make them up. The only reason that was accepted to miss a class was with a doctor's note. With a doctor's note, you then had to show up an hour early each day for 5 days to prep the kitchen to make up the missing hours. I lived a bit more than an hour away from the school by public transit. Some classes started at 6 a.m., others at 9 a.m., others at 1 p.m. Getting to the early classes on time was always a pain, especially making sure I was early in case of any delays. For the 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. classes, I would usually shave the evening before. No big deal. I had no issues doing this for at least a year. One day, partway through a class that had started at 6 a.m., the chef stopped me and asked if I had shaved that morning. I told him honestly that since I had to be up at 4 a.m. to make it on time, I shaved the night before. This was unacceptable to him, and I was sent out of class. He did tell me I could return once I had shaved. He probably expected me to go home and not return for the day. There was no way I was going to have to fight to make up hours over something so trivial. I left class and found the closest convenience store. I purchased the cheapest plastic disposable razor I could find and a travel-size shaving cream. I went back to school and proceeded to shave my face in the men's restroom. By the time I was done, my face was bleeding all over. My skin irritated so bad, I stuck little pieces of toilet paper on all the spots where I was bleeding. I put my uniform on, walked through the school, right back to the kitchen, and continued on what I was doing. The look on the chef's face was great. How professional do I look now? I would love to say that the policy was changed, or that he let up a bit, but no. He simply told me I looked ridiculous and to get back to the assignment. "I don't work here, chicken lady," Vegan revealed during medical emergency story. I was at the supermarket browsing the wares near the end of an aisle. Round the corner, I see a guy who looks a crusty punk type of fellow. He's shopping just the same as me, until BAM! He goes straight down on the floor. I go over to him, he's sprawled on the floor. No movement, he looks unconscious. It seems to me he's having an epileptic fit or a seizure. I pull out my phone and dial 999 for the ambulance to come. Seconds later, the shop staff run over. They know first aid. I offer them my phone so they can speak to the ambulance people since they know better about looking out for the guy. The shop worker is checking his breathing, pulse, etc., and relaying that over the phone. So I'm hanging around, very concerned about the guy on the ground, and also now just waiting patiently for my mobile to be returned. Suddenly, I get a tug on my elbow. It's a woman asking me about chicken. I'm like, what? "Is there still chicken there?" she asks. I'm kind of overwhelmed by the situation, so I'm like, "Sorry, I can't check the shelves. There's someone on the floor that has had a fit." The lady is undeterred. She's like, "Yeah, but I really want some chicken." I'm like, "Sorry, I don't know if there is any chicken." She says, "Can you just go look for me?" I say, "Sorry, no. I don't know where the chicken is, and I don't think anyone should be shopping in this area because there's a guy who just had a fit and he's lying on the floor." She's like, "Yeah, but why can't you just look for me? Don't you know where the chicken is?" I don't know why, but this is the point I lose my temper. I say really loudly, "No, I don't know where the chicken is because I'm vegan." And at that moment, everything stops. The guy who was talking to the emergency dispatcher has gone silent. He's staring at me. His colleagues who are kneeling on the floor around the guy are looking at me in disgust. Even Chicken Woman is silent. It occurs to me that my announcement might have been the last thing that the poor man having his seizure ever hears. Very quietly, I ask, "Could I please have my phone back?" He gives it to me, and I shuffle out of the shop in shame. I don't know what happened to the man, and I don't know if the woman ever got her chicken. Forget my life. Responses to some common queries. Why was Chicken Lady so rude? I don't know why people are rude. Why didn't Chicken Lady go around me? This was a small supermarket on a city street. It was very cramped. I'm in the UK and we're short on space. Why didn't I tell the Chicken Lady that I don't work there? I did not realize that she had mistaken me for an employee until someone pointed it out. I was kind of overwhelmed and clearly was unsuccessful in putting myself in her shoes. Why do I not know where the chicken is? Firstly, even if I did know where the chicken is, I would still have kept Chicken Lady away from the area because there was a guy having a fit. It's not appropriate for people to step over someone who has collapsed. Back to the question, why do I not know where it is? I guess I'm just not that observant. It's not something I would normally buy, so I don't remember what fridge shelf it should be on. Why do you keep calling a seizure a fit? A fit is a common synonym for seizure in the UK. Am I the jerk for telling my ex-husband my child support obligation is over? I'm 39, female. My ex-husband and I have been divorced for the last 13 years. I gave up custody of my daughter during the divorce and have been sending over child support checks until May of 2020, when my daughter turned 18. My daughter is a quadriplegic and has been since she was 5. Her dad lost his job around 14 years ago, so for the first 2 years after our divorce, the child support me and my then new husband sent over was what helped them survive. My checks have never been late, but I now have 2 kids with my current husband, aged 12 and 8. I've been a stay-at-home mom for the entirety of our marriage, so it's been my husband being kind enough to pay for a kid that's not his. When my daughter turned 18, I talked to her and basically wished her and my ex-husband luck in whatever they chose to do in the future.
Oh my god.
I get a call from my ex-husband saying that my daughter wanted to start college in fall of 2021. The college they picked was the best in the state for students with disabilities, but that my ex-husband couldn't pay the tuition alone. He said that our daughter couldn't do any of the student jobs available and said if I wanted to do right by my first kid, I should help pay the bill. I was talking to my ex on speakerphone, and my current husband interjected and said that was all his money, and he has done everything to help me meet my legal obligation, but that's done now. I told my husband that our daughter is now a legal adult, and I had covered her expenses when she needed a lot of medical attention at ages 6 and 7, and that we were only a bit older than her when we were already parents. I told him that I had already done right by our child, and that college isn't a necessity. I wished them the best of luck in looking into possible other scholarships and grants, and said I had 2 other kids that needed me. Am I the jerk for fulfilling all my legal obligations and telling my ex that his 18-year-old is an adult now? Karen wife demands to name our baby Jong-hyun. My wife, 32 female, and I are expecting our first bundle of joy. We're absolutely thrilled. I personally can't wait to be a dad. The due date is April 21st. We're from Ireland. My wife has been a huge fan of the South Korean boy band SHINee since 2008. Their music apparently got her through a lot of tough times. Jong-hyun was a member of this group. He unfortunately passed in 2017. From what I've read online about him, he seems to have been an amazing guy. My wife was devastated when she found out about his passing and told me that when we have our first kid, if it's a boy, she's going to name him Jong-hyun in his honor. At the time, I didn't really take her seriously. The time has come though, and she's very serious about it. She wasn't joking.
Here we go.
She even picked out
Where are we? The home of the legendary scents of the old...